good at applying the technique, and I have been doing good. But yeah, when something like shocking happens, whatever it could be to the individual, but with me it's like financial related shit, yeah, I get knocked out spiritually, and then like I can't really get myself full again. I mean, I knew this, I've shared that information, so that works that way here on the show. So he restored me, and I mean, the pain just went away immediately. So it was really all related to that. Also informed him about like the whole smart meter thing, and well, from his analysis, from his guide's analysis of my situation, like my state, it's not been affecting me. So that's a relief. I kind of thought that, but it's just I didn't really understand why and how that could be. Because I mean, I learned about like the dangers of it over a decade ago, and it was pretty substantial. But yeah, it seems like it's not really having a negative impact on me. So that's a relief. I just don't really have to worry about that anymore. Like thinking like, is it that, because it's a problem I just can't solve anyway. So it's a kind of relief that that's not having a negative influence as I thought it might. And yeah, despite me now going through a bit of a sick phase, I'm sorry guys, there's people out there that are like, oh god, not this again, and I'm like, yeah, I agree, I'm sorry, but to be fair, I'm actually the one going through this. You don't have to go through that. I mean, unless you like have uncontrollable empathic reach out and you're like absorbing my shit, don't do that. Like, keep a shield. I recommend it. They don't want you to get like a nervous breakdown type vibe that's gonna destabilize you. Don't do that. And I try to keep it to me. Like, I hope you guys have noticed, like, even in this state, I'm not lashing out or anything. Because, I mean, it is very frustrating to be like this. It really is. And I'm sorry. I can't help it. These things just happen to me. And it happens periodically. Like, once or twice a year. And it always does. It's like thinking like, whoa, I'm doing really great. Oh, no period of suffering. And then suddenly something happens. And it's like, oh, God, bang. There I go again. Face flat onto the floor, smack. It's just, yeah, it happened. I'm sorry. It just happens. I do my best to avoid it, but I mean, it just keeps happening, right? And it's one of those times, and I just hope that I can get through it quick. Although it doesn't look like it's going to be that quick, but at least that I like overcome the nervous end of it. Just keep it under control. Get out of the dip, out of the valley, and then start climbing back to where I wanted to go. Right. So yeah. But yeah, I am doing better a bit, and I'm still kind of shaky, but like at least I don't feel like I'm dying or anything. Because I mean, yesterday and the day before, it was really bad. You could have probably like heard it in like my voice. My voice probably sounds less shaken. Because when it's that has that much of an impact, it's like I can't even like properly control my breathing. Right? I got it a bit more under control. It's just I'm nervous and I just gotta somehow get my energy flow back. Right? Because that's how I run. That's how I can keep conversation going during the show. Is how I can address interesting subjects is through the energy flow. And yeah, get it falling smack down on your face, metaphorically, spiritually. Yeah, that really just knocks the wind out of that energy process. So I have to like kind of start back up again. Hey, MB in the house. How cold does it get over there? I don't know. There's been plenty of years here where it doesn't freeze. This year is one of the years where it has frozen a bit like a while back, and now it's gonna freeze again for a bit. But I mean, it's never like we got cold hard winters with constant -10. I mean, that's maybe like happened 1 or 2 times in the 90s, if I remember correctly. Not even sure. But like after 2000, like none of that. It's been only mild winters, really. It's just like, whoa, there's snow, wow. Because like that rarely even happens, and it's fine. I'm all fine with it. I don't necessarily like super cold winters. Right. Although I do like snow. I do like the look of the snow. Sunk, it's special. Right, but yeah. What was I talking about? Yeah, condition, getting through it. Taking the necessary steps to resolve the situation. And just like realize, like, yeah, that's all I can do. I mean, there's like, even if I just like drop over half dead or whatever, it's not gonna matter. It's like it's not gonna change anything. So it's just like, just keep stable. Just keep stable. And, try to get something to like, get my attention on. Preferably something that could like be productive on the long run. Right. Anyway, yeah, I also had some good conversations on worldwide debates. There's nobody there right now. It's just empty. Weird. The Earth Awakenings is pretty full though, so I might join up with them. They were having discussions about medical things, which is interesting. It's like, I think some of them might actually be working in laboratories because they do know there's like a lot of details surfacing in that. I usually don't get into it with that much detail. I just kind of look at the patterns of it. Hope everybody's having a good weekend. And it's frozen. It gets frozen. No, ambient house. No, that never happens. It's never that cold. It's not Antarctica. Or like North Canada or something. And by the way, I don't have the habit of like having a drink at the door opening. I never do that. Maybe a smoke, but not a drink, because it's gonna get cold. Right. Again, I hope everybody's having a good weekend. It's the weekend up running to Christmas. So I think a lot of people are now probably on holiday. Like their work for the year is probably done. Maybe not. Maybe that's like next weekend or after Christmas or something. I'm not sure. Like, is this the winter vacation for everybody? I don't remember. That's when it starts, I think. Anyway, but yeah, I hope everybody's having a good weekend though, and probably a lot of people busy preparing for Christmas and all that. Right? Because I mean, if you still have to work during the work days, well then you have to. But yeah, I hope everybody. Okay, coffee is. It's not having an acute bad reaction. That's nice. I still have to be careful, dude. Guys, I barely ate yesterday. I really barely ate. Like mushroom type soup. And like that was exactly right. I mean, it was like, yeah, it's barely a meal, but it was exactly enough, and it was the right thing that I needed. I felt so. I will start to become hungry again, and then when I eat, that's when I like get restored. It's just, yeah, I'm not there yet. I'm getting there. A little bit better every day. Ugh. Alright, so what's going on out there in the world? There's some weird stuff happening in the Netherlands. You probably don't really know that much. De Jonge Boerla, you know that one. Kuipers, Kaag, Koopmans, these are all like Dutch, let's just say deep state politicians. They were all part of like a COVID situation. I mean, Gates and Boerla being in there, you probably already suspected that. And they're all being called to the court in Leeuwarden. Let's just say. Then there's some really weird stuff happening with the courts. Like, the courts are getting involved with county gatherings in Den Haag. That's not supposed to happen. Like, they shouldn't be part of that. It's really strange because it's also, yeah, because of basically the separations of power. Something like that. So it's really weird. They're doing that. And it's being noticed, and it's like, yeah, this is crazy. They're not supposed to do that. Since when is this? Can they just do that? Like, has the role of judgment changed? It's like the court system is basically doing things they're not supposed to be doing legally. Very strange. It's starting to feel a bit like the weird shit in America with like Alex Jones court case. It just didn't make any damn sense. Like, they completely disregarded all legal procedures and like the law basically on how to do that, and it turned it into like this weird theater play. And I mean, it's not that what's happening, but like the court is acting out of line basically here in the Netherlands, and it's weird. It's very strange and kind of creepy. So yeah, those are two things that I bumped into. Let's see what else did I miss. Oh yeah, Leader Vos from Form of Democracy is crushing it. She's such a champion. She just keeps saying it. Cold hard facts, very simple, no emotions, to just like say the facts, say the facts, say the facts, and she's like being called crazy and all that, and it's like blatantly nonsense. Like, nope. She's anything but crazy. So just continue, like always referencing real scientists and everything, and it's just but I mean, I really love that woman. Almost in love. No, I think she's like kind of hot, but it's who cares? She doesn't have time for that shit. Like, but I mean, I really appreciate her. Dude, what the hell are you talking about? There's no Christmas gifts. I'll go a step further. I'm not even going to my dad's for Christmas. At least, I don't think so. Yeah, which is kind of a bummer. But yeah, whatever. Hopefully I will next year, if I make it that far. Let's see what's happening in the US. U.S. strikes ISIS in Syria, retaliation for the murder of American soldiers. And translator, right? Yeah, from all the signaling, it kind of looks like maybe this time the Ukraine war is actually gonna end. Or at least take a completely different turn. I really hope so. But like from the communications from Russia about it, it does seem like they are very serious about peace and like really doing their best to reasonably cooperate with Trump's directive with that. I really hope so, man. Oh yeah, some economic news yesterday. Yeah, that was got informed through Infowars. I mean, it's some really, they have some really good, like, interesting technical news. So apparently, like, the Japanese ended the yen carry trade. And this is like a real technical setup thing, like with banking, that I don't understand anything about. It's all wizardry. It's a whole bunch of weird tricks. But I mean, this apparently sets the stage for massive global inflation, and that means like everything at the same time. So this could get pretty serious, to the point where it's like no more fucking around, or like economies could like really collapse in on itself, and that like then everything halts. And then that's, if that happens, like everybody's going to be really dependent on local farmers, like how much if they have anticipated this, and if they have like reserves enough to actually keep producing foods just to make the locals survive. It's all, that's why it's so insane that they're cracking down on the farmers so hard in Europe, like right at this moment. It's so dark that they're doing that, and people know that it's that dark. That's just messed up. So yeah, that's the thing that's going on, and I've been saying it for a long time. Gold and silver, that's the one thing that the global inflation, like, that's the thing that will be big. It's already, I think silver's at an all-time, like, world history all-time high prices now. Which, I mean, it basically means like the global inflation's already there because it is that indicator. But at the same time, there is a higher industrial need for it as well. With the ever advancing computer age, it's just really needed as a material more than ever. And I mean, even double so because now electronics are even more used in like warfare. And since there is war going on and war production, yeah, that also demands even more silver. So it's like silver is gonna be absolutely smashing it. And I feel really sorry for myself because I used to have a big box of silver. Pretty much up until 8 years ago. And it wasn't worth shit back then. I just had to get around and to sell it all, and I feel really bad because now if I'd still have it now, it would literally be 3 times worth what it was then. But yeah, I mean, screw it. I can do nothing about it. I just hope people have listened to my advice. Oh, silver, who would have guessed? A lot of people would have known. I mean, a lot of people know that. It could be elk. It's just, it's always about timing, right? And I mean, it's at an all-time record now. I can actually state relatively safely that it's still gonna grow much more. Like, there's no ceiling with this one. So it's like it coincides with inflation, it goes up, but it's also a higher industrial need. So it's like it's basically gonna burst through. The prices could like really, I mean, quadruple in a year, something like that. It could get that crazy. And don't call me on it, but I mean, maybe that's like, haha, next year gonna say like quadruple. Oh, right. No, it tenfold. It could. I don't know. But it's gonna grow big, and it's still worth the investment now, even though the prices are so high. That's the word, and I believe it. Because this inflation spiral, that's not gonna stop. So it's definitely not gonna go down. But the demand is gonna keep rising. So yeah. If you just bought a box of silver last year, you're gonna feel really lucky. And I'd recommend to hold on to it as long as you can, because it's just gonna it's gonna set records. And I mean, lit is not just saying it, no, it's literally gonna set records. Yeah, you can call me on that, because saying it like that, yeah, I can say that with absolute certainty that in a year time you will be like, damn, Arwin, yes. Or maybe you're already like highly informed out there, and then you know that I'm basically just echoing in that sense that what other experts that are actually reliable are also saying, because that's just this is just logical result of how these things work. Right. So yeah, physical gold, but I mean especially silver though. Silver is the thing that's really gonna like multiply big time. Gold, sure, but silver is like gonna go crazy. And I mean, a good investment also would be like silver mining, like invest in like in mining stocks. Oh, silver mines, like that's actually a really good bet right now, and it already has been. But man, I mean that's a really good investment. So I recommend that. If I had money to invest, that's what I would do. Anyway, and for me it would work out great, because I mean I can also use silver for goldsmithing and all that, so unfortunately I'm not in the position. Quite the opposite. Alright. Hope everybody's doing okay out there and you're having a good weekend. Don't forget to Rogan's it up if you're liking the show, and yeah. Right, so I'm gonna put this on the title. Right, let's start with this. Health update and global inflation will make silver set all-time record highs. Right, this is nice if it's in the title, because then like a year later you can literally go scrolling through my titles and be like, ah, there it is. That's the day you said it. Officially. My screen frozen? What a weird position. Screen frozen. Right. Anyway. Yeah, coffee's actually sitting pretty decent. I feel okay. And I'm really relieved that I do. Oh yeah, Alex Jones like taunted, challenged Ben Shapiro to a live debate. It was funny how he did that. And I mean, he was totally right about everything he said about him. Ben Shapiro is like obviously like a complete Israel shill. which is now in conflict with MAGA. Pretending to be the real MAGA. Anyway. Right, what can I talk about next? What is this? Right. Well, that seems to be it. Pretty much. Yeah, the whole Corona Commission thing again with Leeuwarden. This could get really interesting. I mean, maybe that is what is required to like stop the frickin' NATO war too. Because Rutte is in there. He's the head of NATO. He's literally in it. He's right in the middle of that scandal. And he's also being called to the court. And this could like get really interesting. It could also be that they're just gonna like say screw you. Just not show up eventually. Like, oh, there's a war, so we don't have the... It could of course be that like they're starting the war just to not have to go there. I mean, do not underestimate how dirty these people are, and that they'll do anything to avoid justice for what they've done. Oh, did I break it already? Like, apparently Trump announced an executive order to reschedule marijuana from Schedule 1 controlled substance to Schedule 3. I thought that had already happened, but apparently it didn't. It was just like California and Colorado or something. But I mean, yeah. Good. I'm glad to hear it. I said, hello? Oh, account made today. Oh, okay. Right, hope everybody's liking the show. I feel it's already better than one yesterday was, so... than it was yesterday. So sometimes the way I like stick together sentences, it's just like, what is this? This is not the way English puts sentences together. It's weird. It happens sometimes. Uh. Like the way that happens is like I think in English pretty much, and but it's like shards that are put together, and most of the time it fits right in. It's like really naturally speaking, like it's the first language. It's like almost directly coming out of your thought. But sometimes it's like it gets dislocated. It's like, oh, it doesn't fit, and then it's like, oh shit, and then I have to like focus, concentrate, actually think about it more carefully, and then correct it. It's weird when that happens. And the weirdest thing is like that happens to me, but I mean it happens to like native English speaking people. Like I hear like InfoWars crew people make mistakes like that all the time, and then they don't even notice it. They don't correct it. And they're like, that's not proper English or American. And they just like, they don't even notice. Like, even Alex does that, and then he just puts it in an ad for some supplement thing or whatever, and it just keeps repeating that error like over and on a daily basis, like several times a day for like a week. And it's like, wow, you just left that in, huh? Really? That's weird. But I don't know, maybe they're just more focused on the energy of the speech rather than if it's grammatically correct or something. I think they just deprioritize that a bit. Because I mean, they make mistakes regularly. And it's like nobody really cares. They don't correct each other. They only correct each other about facts, but not about like pronunciations and all that. Like they fuck up with that all the time. It's actually kind of comedic at times. Like there's consistent fuck ups. Like for example, Alex Jones, every time he wants to say Molotov cocktail, right? That's a thing. And he calls them Molov cocktails. This is like, oh really? Molov cocktails? What is that? Huh. And like he always makes that mistake. It's like he just can't get the thing. I just can't get it out of his mouth. It's hilarious. Like even when there's like a co-host sitting there and he then says it right, and then Alex still says it wrong. Yeah, I guess it's also part of like American quirkiness or something to just mispronounce certain words. I mean, it's just like nuclear, right? You're not supposed to say nuclear. It's nuclear. Nuclear. I mean, it's very basic when you really listen to it separately. Nuclear. But because it's been mispronounced so much, so many times, that it's almost like, no, this is the way the Americans say it. So now it's like everybody just says nuclear, or a lot of people in America say that. They like say it incorrectly on purpose because it's just become a cultural thing. Like I notice these kinds of things, and so for me it's just kind of funny. Sometimes I wonder, like, are they mispronouncing it on purpose to try to stimulate more of this like Americanization of language on purpose? See if they can like spawn new culture, new different ways of saying it. It's like, screw it, Bridget. Like Alex just wants to say Molotov cocktails. It's like, yeah. Even though, I mean, it's based on a name. What sort of things do you do for fun off stream? Well, to be fair, I don't really do a lot of things off stream, off the internet. I play a bit of game, not really super extensive. I chat a lot on Discord. I watch some stuff online, videos. To be fair, that's mostly it. Like, outsiders would find my life very boring at the moment. I used to like do other things too, like I play Dungeons and Dragons tabletop. I game master. I can do that. It's just I don't have a group right now. It would be great if I could do that again. It was very stimulating. It's like because it's something I can like really dig into. So it's a great distraction if I like feel terrible. I'm just like, yeah, just start building dungeons. Like that really saved me like 6-7 years ago, because I was feeling really bad at times back then, but I could just focus on that sort of thing. Oh, I like my stream layout. Very well done. Thank you. It's been like this for a very long time though. So I'm really monotonous when it comes to the way that my show looks. But I mean, this is like the best way that I liked it. I'm very satisfied with this setup. And so I'm keeping it like this, even if other people are like, oh my god, it's always the same. Well, guess what? I mean, it looks kind of nice, and the show is not really primarily visual. I mean, I know I'm really, really handsome, right? Just kidding. But I mean, maybe some of you think so. I don't know. I'm satisfied about my looks. But yeah, other than that, I mean, it's really all about the talk. And my friends, the people that have stuck with me for a very long time, like they don't watch my show. They basically listen to it. They're like doing stuff, doing chores or whatever, and then just having me on in the background to listen to. So the visuals are kind of second priority. It's really all about the voice. Right? And that's also, yeah, I mean, when I feel shit, everybody can hear it. So, yeah, everybody that knows me should know that, like, yeah, well, thank God you sound a bit better today, Arwin. Like, yeah, thank God indeed, and thanks for putting up with when I just break. Because I do sometimes. I'm really sorry when that happens. But at the same time, I also just have to keep going with the show, because if it, like, whenever I break, if I then like distance myself from streaming, like I feel too weak, I'm not gonna stream. Well, you know what that's gonna do? It's gonna amplify it. It's gonna make it even worse for me, because then I suddenly can't express myself, and I like need that. Anyway. Oh, thank you for that chocolate chip cookies. I appreciate the compliment. Man, I haven't had a chocolate chip cookie in six or 7 years. I don't get those things anymore because it's too expensive. And yeah, I try to avoid things like cookies and all that. It's not great. I mean, I wouldn't avoid chocolate, but I'd rather than like, what I do now sometimes is like I get a chocolate brownie, or not a brownie as in a cupcake, but it's like basically a cutout thing. It's really compact, and then I just take tiny slices of it, and so I can do with like one brownie, I can literally do a month, which is like great. I mean, yeah, you could chug it all down in one go, but I mean, just tiny little slices. It's very satisfying. So I sometimes take that as a dessert. It's like, oh, because sometimes it's like I need something chocolatey. I need it. And then I can like take a little slice of that, and then that need is satisfied, and it, yeah, it doesn't cost much. So that's how I solve the chocolate. The chocolate needs. Just chocolate brownie, and they cost like €5 or something. But yeah, if I can last an entire month with it, that's great. Think like that's very cost efficient. And hey, I am all about cost efficient, because if I don't, I'm screwed. What? De Goyer? I don't know what that means. Chips. Oh, I don't understand. I just don't understand what you're saying, but whatever. Yeah, I mean, I like chocolate, but not too much at the same time. But yeah, chocolate can be actually quite healthy. It does have components to it that are very good for you. But I mean, if you just get regular chocolate with like that is very refined, it has a lot of sugar in it and all that, then it's not that great. Oh, right out of the oven, okay. Hot chocolate chip cookies. If you, yeah, homemade, if you're good at it, yeah, that sounds great. I've never experienced that though. Sounds lovely. Thanks for the Rogan's up, whoever did that. Oh, looks like the trolls have moved in. Nobody cares. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't grow up like baking cookies. Like, we were not cookie bakers. We just didn't do that sort of thing.
Like, we did make like jello. That's something that we did do.
Or jam, basically. That, like, my mother was really into like making jam with fruits from our own garden back then. That was great. Delicious stuff. And then eventually even like homemade ice cream. That was like amazing. Still in my memory, it was like the best tasting ice cream that I've ever had, and there's nothing ever topped that. I mean, there's some good ice cream out there, but that was just surreal. Yeah, those were the days. Anyway, we did like typically have like a lot of like yogurt with fruit, and then the fruits like all from the garden or partially, and then just have like during summers like a big bowl with yogurt in it, and then all these fruits in there, and that was great. Very refreshing, very healthy. I love that. With a bit of honey. Used to do snow cones at the ball field for my kids. Okay. Yeah, but I mean, is that like homemade ice cream? Because like regular ice cream out there, especially non-organic, I mean, that's not healthy stuff. Like, it really isn't. But the homemade stuff was just absolutely amazing. Shit, ice with flavors. Okay. Oh, did he like make it on a plate? That sort of thing? You just put the cream on a cold plate and then you just start moving it around? That sort of, because I've seen videos like that. People doing that. That looks, I mean, that does look very interesting and could be very tasty, I guess. You have the right ingredients. Live in Georgia? Oh, okay. Yeah, I know it gets hot there. Oh. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah, that's like slush puppy, or they call that, or it's basically like frozen ice water, frozen water, and then you add, yeah, concentrated lemonade type things to it, flavoring. That's very different. Like I was talking of, like my mother made like actual milk dairy based ice cream. That was amazing. But yeah, when it's really hot, you want the water-based ice cream. I get it. That's great. Anyway, hope everybody's having a great weekend. Don't forget to Rogan's it up if you're liking the show. And I'm now just having a conversation with somebody in my Rumble chat that I don't know. Their account's made today. I mean, it could be just another simulation of a real person, but whatever. I mean, at least you did, like, character research, I guess. I'm sure you're very amused. Right, so yeah, that was it for the coffee. I feel okay. I feel actually better than I expected to feel. Did I play sports? Well, I used to do like horseback riding when I was really young, up until like I was 12 or something. And then I basically got into taekwondo. Did that until when did I? I think until I was 19, roughly. Still did that occasionally after that, but not a lot. So yeah, I mean, I didn't like play team sports or anything. But yeah, horseback riding, taekwondo, those were basically my sports during my youth. And I mean, the horseback riding was great. Like that did a lot of, that really posed a challenge to me. I mean, you had to be like freaking brave, man, because things got scary sometimes. Like, you get a horse that's like really just bracing against everything. You get thrown off your horse, you gotta get right back up. That can be kind of unnerving. What belt were you? Where did I get to? I think I ended at green. I was gonna go for blue, but then it's just like, I don't know, I just got really distracted away from it. It's like I just started to lose interest in it. I was just like, yeah, okay, I get the routine. I can do these things, and I'm like, okay, I just kind of wanted to move on. Yeah, it's not a crossbow. Is that your virtue signaling to show me that you're a troll? Because that's what the trolls do. They have to say that word every time they show up. Yeah, it's a bow. A bow. I mean, it's not that complicated. It's a bow. Yeah, it's a bow, and the quiver is hanging over it. And no, I never really was an archer. I got into it a little bit, like I liked the idea of it. I was never like an archer guy. Like, oh, I want to shoot a target every weekend or something. So no, I did not do archery. It's kind of out of frame. Yeah, I know. So no, it is not a sore subject. It's just that, let's just say I've been doing this for 10 years, and in those 10 years 98% of every person that would suddenly pop up in my chat and have elaborate conversation with me and hash through all the details, they would always do this. Yeah, so you are suspicious. You could be like literally a troll going in full acting and like temporarily really think that you're real just to play out this character act. Yeah, because that's happened like hundreds of times. You understand? Hundreds of times in the last 10 years. So excuse me if I'm just going to be just a tiny bit paranoid. It's fine though. I mean, whatever. I mean, it just keeps happening over and over and over again because these people have nothing better to do. So it's fine. But I mean, as soon as somebody says, oh, what's that crossbow behind me? Like, that's to me is like, okay, now there's a 95% chance that you're a troll. Hey, hello Osiris the Good, good to see you again. Knocks out like, who gives a fuck about that guy, dude? Why? Why would you bring that up? Who cares? Asking about sports. Yeah, that's fine. There is no crossbow sports though. Right? So if you were really talking about sports, then why didn't you just say archery? Because archery is an actual sport. So why did you immediately say crossbow, huh? That makes no sense. Sorry, bye. You don't have to say sorry, bye. I'm glad to see you again, but I mean, seriously, who gives a fuck about Jake Paul? Like, why? Like, these things never even come to my attention at all. Hello, viscosity. Okay, you will leave? Oh, okay. Fine. Hey, I'm just analyzing what I know. Hey, I appreciate the conversation though. I guess. Because I've been talking with you for like almost an hour. At least 45 minutes, so yeah, hey, fine. If you have to leave, then you have to leave. I mean, you could, or you could stay. It's just like, yeah, every time somebody says that, brings up that freaking thing, says crossbow, yeah, that's just okay. Now it's like, that's a literal code word to virtue signal that they're secretly the troll, because it's a reference to something in the past. That they're all keeping track, they have a troll track record of my activities for like 10 years, so, because they're insane. And they do this sort of thing, right? Pretend to be a new person, have an elaborate conversation, bring up all kinds of things, and then like, oh, let's compare. And then they suddenly bring up code words, like, oh, what about that crossbow behind you? And then I know, like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, you were a troll, yeah, that's fine. And it's not meant as an insult. It's just me being logically consistent with how these things happen. That's all. If I take it down, I'm never gonna take it down, ever. It's been hanging there for 9 years. 8, maybe 8. So yeah, I mean, it's just that, yeah, it's something they do. Like, and I'm sorry if I offended you by suspecting you're a troll or anything, and you're not. I mean, whatever. I liked our conversation. Did you ever think people bring it up because they see when they are here? No. No, because nobody would look at that and say crossbow, you see? It doesn't look like a crossbow at all. They say that to annoy me, because I got really annoyed when somebody did that on purpose. And back in the day, I would get like way more agitated, and they love that, all their glorious little moments when Arwen got really pissed off. Dude, they're still jacking off to those fucking videos from like 8 years ago of me getting really pissed off over something they said. Really. Because they're that fucking deranged. You see? I got some really psychopath sick fucks that just will not leave me alone for 10 years. Like, see all those downvotes on the video right now? That's them. They'd never leave it alone. Never. But I mean, I'm not gonna stop because of what they do. Like, I don't fucking care. I will keep going. It actually motivates me to keep going even more. Right? So yeah, there you go. That's the background on that. Right, anyway, appreciate it that you understand. That's nice. Already getting a bit dark. I think it's been a pretty good show. Hour 26 minutes. I can keep going, and I will keep going. I'm liking it. And it's not like, oh my god, I'm so hungry. No. No, I'm gonna be lucky to eat anything. Because I feel okay, but it's not like that then like makes room here, because I've barely eaten in the last 3 days. And it's just it's kind of shrunken up. First it has to like decompress before I can just start having a normal eating schedule again. Ugh. I'm just glad that I'm not sick. I don't feel sick after taking that coffee. The coffee, like, yeah, did pretty good. Like, I actually feel kind of good again drinking the coffee. So I'm really overjoyed by that. Because, I mean, 2 days ago, if I would drink this coffee, just that same amount, I would have been like, oh, God, help, I feel like I have to throw up, ah. And it's not like that now. So I'm like, yes, I'm not feeling super sick. I'm so happy. Thank you, God. Thank you that I can just recover. Thank you. Alright, I do actually take a smoke during the show sometimes. I don't do it on screen. Hope you don't mind. But yeah, I am a smoker. But I mean, I'm not gonna smoke on screen though. Because I mean, there's people out there that are like addicted to that and they're trying to not smoke, and I don't want to then trigger them wanting to smoke again. Because it sucks. When you really try to quit, it's pretty tough. But I mean, I do smoke and I do think it does have benefits. And I think that the universal crackdown on it in the West is a psyop. Smoking tobacco is getting heavily scapegoated medically, basically blaming it for all lung cancer and all that, and it's total bullshit. Like, smoking is not guaranteed early death. It really isn't. There's like people out there, Indonesia for example, that smoke their entire life and they grow to like 120 and they do not die of lung cancer. Yeah, it's not directly related. Unless you're like smoking really cheap ass cigarettes that are like really processed and have all the gunk in it, that is actually really detrimental and that will get you cancer. It's the additives. The same goes for food. Cheap, non-organic food has additives. That shit gets you the actual cancer. So you combine that regular cheap ass food with typical mainstream brand cigarettes, yeah, then you actually get cancer. But if you actually have tobacco that isn't filled up with gunk, it's like more pure, more organically grown, no additives, yeah, you don't get that cancer. I am thoroughly convinced about that. Also, I use carbon filters. Like, I don't smoke without them because that is really the key. Since I started using those, I've not had any lung problems, any whatsoever. I've not had the flu or anything since I started using those. While before I figured out they existed, I had regular problems with smoking and it would feel kind of unhealthy. But yeah, man, with the filters is such a huge difference. So anyway, hope you don't mind. I'm gonna be right there around the corner. shoot stars? But no, that's ridiculous. Osiris to go. Don't do that. Yeah, I'm gonna take a 2-minute break and I'll be right back. Toilet break. Don't forget to Rogan's it up if you're liking the show. Don't go anywhere. And I'm back. See what stuff right at the Awakenings. Oh, the room downsized a lot. Yeah, I might join up with them. Let's check it out for a bit.
Everything about the phenomenon. Very good. But we understand that there is indeed...
Bro, don't stay here like you're fucking teaching me, dude. Very good, dude. Fuck
Oh,
off.
God.
Lying. Are you gonna engage with this
Yo,
guy? Or
start.
what, man?
Stop
Hello, guys.
Are you gonna talk to this guy? Because I'm gonna just have to
falling
back
apart.
out.
Stop falling apart. Gather your toys again and let us have the discussion properly.
Oh, Jamaican Rumpus is
Well,
back.
you need to change your tone in the way you're talking to me, though, because you're
You
not
need
gonna
to
just
change
sit
your
here. You're
tone.
not gonna just
You
sit
have
here
been
and talk to me
disrespecting
like
here.
that.
You've been
I'm just
disrespecting
playing.
Robert,
Mr.
chill out.
King.
You're interrupting.
Back.
Robert, you're
No, he's been
interrupting.
interrupting me. He's been interrupting me.
I know because you can't demean people and talk to them like the way you're doing that. You can't do that here.
You gotta at least let him
I'm not
talk.
gonna stay here.
One-on-one.
Like
Yeah,
I'm either
I need
muting
to
him or
talk.
leaving. So you want to talk to Robert
Oh,
or?
please. You
Hold on,
lost.
Erwin said something. Hold on, guys.
You lost the debate.
I'm
Please
just
step
muting
aside.
this guy. I'm just gonna remute him. I don't know. Are you gonna talk to this guy, Lion?
Yeah,
or
yeah.
not?
Hold on. Just
I
let him-
appreciate it
yeah,
if you'd mute him. This is...
We don't have anybody else talking right now for the Globers, dude. He's the only Glober.
Who
Yeah,
cares, dude? The Globe's boring
I'm-
as fuck and they suck. Listen to
Well,
this
you're
guy.
boring. No, you're the one that's boring. You keep on saying nonsense.
Okay. I'm live, by the way. Still with the Early Bird Show
There you
number
go. There you go. You got some content for you.
Yay.
Go ahead.
20 Flat Earth Early Bird 2492.
What number means the truth?
What number?
Science, what number do you use to mean truth exactly 100%? Like, what's the true number?
That makes no sense.
Exactly, so stop using math
Math?
for proofs or science because you don't even know
stop
what it means.
stop using math. Stop using math, Arwen.
What? I don't
Well,
get
for
it.
God, you know, math is God is
God
science.
needs to
God
stop using
proves
math.
things. Right, if
Yeah,
math
God,
proves
my bad.
things, I
Not you,
star.
Arwen. Not you, Arwen. God needs to stop.
Yeah,
using math.
God's their math. God is the Glober's math. If it's the proof, if your proof is God and their proof is math, math is their God. Sorry. And if science is proven by their God, which is math, math is their God. So numbers, ones and O's are their God.
Holy shit.
I just
Nah,
wanna know
I would
the
not
God
agree
numbers.
with that. I'd say that math is their scripture, not their God, right?
Nah, you're wrong. You're 100% wrong.
That makes
Math is their God. They pray to numbers, evolution of numbers, ones and zeros and nines, and that's the answer to everything. 0 through 9 is
No,
your
they
answer.
use the numbers. They use the math
No,
just
I
as
don't.
biblical
care
people
less
use
about
the
those
Bible
numbers.
scriptures. So they don't think that the scriptures themselves are God. They think they're
They
of
think they're
God.
true. They think they're proof. Proof is math to one group, and proof is words and hope to another. So
You're the
there
only
you
one
go.
that-
You got hope math and hope words. Good deal.
Is the earth flat?
Sounds equivalent to me.
Is the earth flat?
Yeah.
Yes or no? All right. If the earth is flat, prove it.
Amazing.
Go ahead. Prove it.
Water level, no curvature.
Big globe.
Yeah, but it can't be though. I mean, then you're
How
not
come
a
water's not level
heliocentrist.
when it's in a 0G situation? How come it forms a round ball?
Big globe.
There is no 0G situation
What are you talking in the vomit comet? Like when they have water in the vomit comet, how come water doesn't go level?
because it's falling like a droplet. It's
Well, I
just
thought
falling
water
with
is
the plane.
always level. So when there's force under
At rest.
exerted,
Dude, are you serious?
Water at rest finds level.
You
Yeah,
got nothing
not
better to
falling.
do.
When it's falling in a vomit comet, yeah, it's not gonna find rest because it's falling.
so
This is like 2015 shit, bro. Come on.
Yeah, but that's what they do. That's what they do.
What's
Yeah,
not,
I said
not
muted. I
RDD
said
then?
liable for
So you're
What?
saying that water's shape is determined by forces acting on it, right? And because it's falling, it adheres to a certain shape.
No.
No one
If
said
it's
that. You're just
falling,
making
it's
up
not
some,
at
like,
rest.
elementary debate.
Like, explain it to me. If water always is always level.
No, that's not what I said. Water at
It's not
rest finds its level.
So what does it mean to be at rest? No force is acting on it?
No, it's not moving. Not moving
Well,
vertically.
in order for it to move, there has to be some kind of force acting on it, right?
I do not know what at rest means. Like, why would you even ask that?
Well, because at rest to me means no force acting on it, right?
It just means not moving. No, not right. It means not
Well,
moving.
if water is moving, there must be a force acting on it, right? There must be something that is making it move.
So what, dude? We ain't talking
Yeah.
about when it's moving. We're talking
Density
about when it's not moving.
disequilibrium force. I mean, yeah. It's
I just
denser
wanna
than
know
the
if
air.
you
Are you going to talk
agree.
over me now that I'm going to actually rebut it?
No, because
No?
I think
Sounds like
Jeremy
you
asked
are.
me a question, and
Sounds
I
like
was
you
gonna
are
respond.
talking
I
over
didn't
me.
ask you nothing. Hold on, Arwen. I didn't ask you nothing. I'm just saying you're talking about something that we're not talking about. So go
No,
ahead, Arwen.
Arwen said proof of
Hold on, I
flat Earth
didn't,
is
dude.
that water is
Bro.
always level. So
Bro,
that's where.
and then you
I
started
thought we were-
talking about when it's moving, and then you said at rest. And then you started talking about when it's moving.
Well, the
And
question
we're like,
is,
no. We're talking
No.
about when it's at rest. And you're like,
the
but when it's
question
moving,
is,
there's forces on it. And we're like, no. But when it's at rest, it's level.
so, but the question is it at rest or is there some sort of force acting on it?
It's at rest.
Is there, like it changes its shape when there's a tidal force acting on it, right?
But
Yeah,
not
well, guess
gravity.
what? It's not at rest then.
Okay, well, we agree then that if a force is acting on water, it's not always level, right?
Wrong.
If it
no,
can
It's
move,
moving? You mean when it's moving, the thing we're not talking about?
yeah.
So it seems like you're saying that water can move, but that it's not moving because there's a force acting on it. I think
No,
we can
no,
all
what
agree
the
that
fuck
moving
is
water.
Well,
this?
you
What?
know, by that standard, I can argue, you know what? If there was, like, heliocentrism, well, dirt could never find a gravitational center when it explodes. Yeah, when it's exploded, it could never form a ball.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
right?
That's above my head. I don't.
Oh, it's
understand that
above your
anymore.
head, is it? Oh, well,
Yeah.
why are
I
you
mean,
having a discussion with us
you're
then?
a little too advanced for me, but
Too advanced?
I'm talking about
No,
simple
it's the
water,
equivalent of your
and I-
argument.
I
We're talking
thought
about water
water.
at rest, and then you're saying, yeah, but what about when it's not at rest? Well, yeah, that's not part of our argument. So why are you
For you to
bringing it up?
Describe what at rest means.
It means it's not moving.
dude. We told you like 5 times already, bro. Is this one of your chat trolls that followed you in here, or what's up? Arwen?
Yeah, he is.
That there's no forces.
But
acting
only
on
when
it?
it concerns the ball. I mean, you can have an amicable conversation with him, but not about flat Earth or anything, because then he just does this shit like all of them.
Legitimate questions that I think you're
Yeah,
struggling to answer.
legitimate straw man. Yeah.
Okay, let me ask you again. When water is not moving, does that mean there's no forces acting on it? Why is that a hard question to answer?
That
Well,
question really
why
sounds
would I
pointless.
answer?
What?
Like, what relevance does that have?
The relevance is that it's my contention that the water you see in the ocean right now has a force acting on it.
Okay, that's
You're talking
nice.
about the water
So,
that's
It's not
You're
horizontal or
talking about
whatever.
the
it should
water
be.
that's moving. You're
Sorry,
talking about
repeat that.
the water that's moving again, right?
yeah. So, yeah, cool. I know water
back to the
is
water.
moving.
Moving
I'm talking
water.
about when water doesn't have force acting on it, it forms one particular shape. When water does have force acting on it, it forms a shape influenced by that force. My evidence of that is
Well-
when you're in a
Wait.
0G situation like the
What
vomit
shape?
vomit,
Shape of
What's
I
that?
flat.
said water takes a shape.
Yeah, shape of the
Yes.
container and flat. Level.
Yeah, but that's not what he said.
I
He
know.
said it takes a shape.
yes.
I'm
If-
trying to
if
figure out
there's
what
no
shape that
force-
is.
If there's no force acting on water, what shape do you think it takes?
Well, no, I'm asking you. You're the one who says it takes a shape.
Yeah, if when you have water with no force acting on it, it will form like a ball eventually.
What? It'll form a ball.
Wow.
Where
No,
can
it
you
takes the shape
demonstrate
of the
that?
container, and at the top
I
it will
just-
be flat.
I just told you the example in the vomit comet, right? But you
Wait,
deny
so-
Yeah, but that's falling. That's not
It's not
at rest.
falling. There's no force
Yeah, it is
acting on it.
falling. The plane is going down. It's falling.
So if a human was in the vomit comet and stood on a scale while it was in free fall, what would the weight be of that human?
Nothing. Because
Right.
the scale is
Why would that
at
be
fall.
nothing? Because
You're
no
not.
force is acting.
It's movement. You
Scales
can't weigh stuff in movement.
Don't have
That's
a
crazy.
consistent
You don't
weight
weigh stuff while it's
registry
moving.
unless
Do you-
it's
do you think-
stationary.
Do you think that the person doesn't weigh anything because there's nothing pulling them down, because the vomit comet is counteracting the mysterious thing that pulls people down?
No.
Relative
The
density
vomit comets.
disequilibrium? Yeah, that's right. When you're moving,
So-
you're negating the need for movement because it's already moving. It's in motion.
Okay, so
Plane
if we
and
say
all.
that, if we say the force pulling down isn't the G word, it's density equilibrium, are you saying that when water is not under the effect of density equilibrium, it still lies perfectly horizontal?
No.
Okay, so that means that if some kind of downward force is acting on it, it will conform. It will be influenced by that force.
Downward
Yeah, sure.
doesn't
Density
mean a ball.
disequilibrium will definitely make it go down when it's in air.
Doesn't
You put
necessarily
it-
mean a
Why do you
ball,
think
but it
down means
means
a ball?
that downward doesn't necessarily mean a ball, but it means if our hypothesis is that
Hypothesis.
the shape of the Earth is a sphere, therefore water at rest conforms to that sphere because
No, it doesn't.
the water is being pulled to the center of the sphere.
No,
Someone
it's not.
would-
That's a claim. The
Yeah,
only
it's
thing
a
you have
hypothesis.
is you got. Listen,
It's a
if I drop a
hypothesis.
million things of sand, they all fall lined up. They don't make a ball. The other outside ones don't get in front of the bottom ones to come together like a seed and make a ball. This never happens. You don't have that force. Just because you keep imagining that on some water doesn't make it so. Do it with a million objects. They should do the same thing. They should form that same ball that you're claiming. A million grains of sand. They don't do it. Stop lying. The outside parts of sand would have to catch up, go around, get in the front, get underneath, and make the fucking closure of the circle. That's never happening.
When you're proposing that thing with the sand, is it already on the ball? Because if it is, then your claim makes no sense.
What? So
Snowballs don't
what
make
the hell does
themselves.
that? So if we presuppose it's already on a ball, why would we do that?
If the particles you're talking about are already under the influence of the mysterious thing that pulls objects down, then your analogy is completely wrong. Go into a 0G situation, or sorry, not G. Go into a situation where there's no downward force. You know, maybe if you went really, really high up and didn't hit some kind of barrier, and then take all those particles and see what happens. Because to suggest like sand should be forming a ball when it's already on a ball that was formed
That
makes
you
no
presuppose and not prove.
I mean, you're
can
straw
prove it,
manning
but-
mainstream science right now. You're straw manning mainstream science right now because when the water's falling or when it's not falling, like in the vomit comet, or when it's standing still on Earth or wherever the water is, this force that you think is not there in the mainstream version of gravity. So you're just
So
straw
in
manning
the,
the
in the
mainstream
mainstream version of science, there isn't a force acting on all mass that pulls it towards the center of a sphere. Mainstream science
Yeah,
doesn't.
no,
say
the mainstream version of gravity is general relativity, and in general relativity, there is no force there. Exactly. Yes, that is how it works.
General relativity is the cause of that force, or pseudo.
No, there is no
Wow.
there is no force.
So
In general relativity,
Non-force
there is
causes
no
a force, sure.
if you ask a scientist and ask them in mainstream science, is there a force that pulls anything with mass towards the center of the earth, they would say no.
We've asked them and they've said no, there is no force there. Yes, the ones that know general
Gravity's
relativity
not
can
a
steel
force.
man the mainstream. The ones that can steel man the mainstream
They say
version
that they
and steel man general relativity, they will say there's no force there. We've already asked them and we have the quote, so we've already done that.
The question isn't.
Gotta have two mediums, brother. Gotta have
The
two
question
things.
isn't is gravity a force? They all know, and they would all say that there's a force that pulls things to the center of the sphere. That's mainstream science. The cause of that
No,
force.
It's not
It's
anymore.
You don't have anything
You're
in
just
the
getting it
center of
wrong,
the
dude.
sphere.
There is no force there.
I can't. You're all talking at once. I can't.
Yeah,
hear.
there is no force there. You're just wrong.
So what is it then? What makes things fall?
the bending and
Relative
warping of
density
space-time.
disequilibrium. I mean, we keep saying
The
it.
mainstream
Causes
version is the
force. The
The
bending.
mainstream version. Hold on, Buck. The mainstream version is it's the bending and warping of space time, causing things to fall into each other, not a force.
Okay, so there is something that causes things to be pulled to the center of the earth. Most people
Yeah,
call
not a
that a
force.
force because it's a pseudo force. It acts exactly like a force. But there is something. There's no way that mainstream science doesn't agree that there is something that acts as a force that pulls things to the center of the earth. If you want to get into semantics about general relativity versus Newtonian physics, fine. But that doesn't change the fact that
There just is no it's not semantics. There just is no force there in the mainstream version of it.
you're talking about the cause of the force. And
No,
so
there is
No,
no
the force.
dude. There
Okay,
is no
so-
cause of
so
cause.
there-
You keep saying
your
cause
claim
of the
is
force,
your
but
claim
there
is
is
that
no
there
force.
is no force. Your claim is that there is no force. Do you
No,
agree
general
that things
relativity's
fall?
claim is there. The claim of general relativity is there is no force.
Okay, does general relativity's result become that there is nothing that makes things fall towards the center of the sphere?
Didn't say that.
That's
I just
right.
said you keep mentioning a force, and I'm telling you there is no. You keep saying that there's this
I will
force
change-
happening, and I'm
you're-
just letting
you're
you know that there
100%
is
correct.
no. Bro, come on.
You're 100% correct. It's not a force. There's some mysterious, let's call it
Mysterious? Was it like magic?
magic. There's something that makes things of mass be pulled to the center of the sphere. If you don't want to say it's a
Nope.
force, let's call it a pseudo force. Let's call it something that
Yeah,
is
magic.
just like a force, but it's not a force. Okay? How about that? Would general science agree that there is something that pulls mass towards the center of the sphere?
Maybe
in
you
the-
should go
No,
ask.
no, it wouldn't.
Well, I consider myself part of general science, so
Yeah, but you don't
think-
even
Yeah,
know
well,
the
you got it
science, so
wrong.
how can you consider yourself part of it?
You don't think I know the science of general
We
relativity?
just had to
and-
correct you. We just had to
demonstrated
correct
you
you.
didn't know it. Hold on, BB. You just demonstrated you didn't know it.
Because
We all know you don't
Yeah,
know it.
stop
now.
there.
We all know you don't know it.
Your argument of semantics over Newtonian physics versus general relativity is so tired and old. Like, it's
Yeah,
so
because
silly.
it's still true. And you don't address it. You can't do anything with it. And it's very tedious. I get it. Because you're just wrong and you're holding on to systems that are no longer valid.
It's no longer valid.
Yeah, no longer valid. That's right.
Maybe you should go take a science class.
Before general relativity, did everyone believe that there was a force that pulled mass towards the center of the sphere before general
Nope.
relativity?
Not everybody believed that, but it was the official scientific position back then
Yes.
with Newtonian physics.
I should have
And
said it that
then
way.
it got
was the
debunked
general
and
scientific
replaced. And you
consensus-
keep talking over my answer. You ask a
Sure.
question and you talk over it, right?
I'm sorry, Arwen. Go ahead.
Yeah, so there was the concept through Newtonian gravity, that's a thing. There was claims. It was never really the vast consensus. It was just an opinion within the field of scientists that it was getting argued. It was never fully mainstream. It's not like it was printed in all the books and everybody had to learn that. It was an idea, just like the theory of evolution is still treated like that. It's not fully, like, it's not absolute. It's still debated and that's how Newtonian physics, the gravity part, the gravitational pull part, was back then. Was not fully it didn't have full consensus, and then it got replaced, and then it was like off the table, like it was basically debunked, and then replaced by general relativity.
Okay, so
yeah,
are you
and it's
saying
been
that
like that ever
general
since.
Sorry, can I respond, or are you done? You're
Yeah.
done? So is it your claim that the gravitational constant wasn't the absolute consensus of all of science before general relativity?
Yes.
That's your claim?
It was
you don't
still
think
contested.
That the gravitational constant was accepted by all of science. There was some part of science that didn't believe that the gravitational acceleration existed.
Is
that your claim?
It was done, yes.
So all the physics students, when they were given exams and stuff, they didn't all use 9.8 meters per second squared as the gravitational acceleration when they were solving problems and stuff.
Oh, I'm sure they were using it, but it was admitted that it's outdated. And I learned this in school in the 90s. Oh, no, and you're going to talk over me again? Ass?
Well,
ass? I'm not done yet? Yeah? So dude, Jeremy, this guy is just untenable.
It's hard to sometimes tell when you stop and I can go, but
yeah, but why did you just wait until I'm done instead of just waiting for half a second of silence to immediately break in when you could actually listen to what I say to figure out when I'm done talking?
I listen to every word you say, Arwen.
No, you don't.
To me.
No, you're just waiting until you can continue. That's all you do. You don't listen to what I'm saying at all. Because you don't respond to anything I'm saying. You're just waiting to continue.
I responded to exactly what you said. You said it wasn't scientific consensus pre-relativity that Newtonian physics or the Newtonian gravity was the consensus. And
yeah,
I suggested that it was. And my example was
what are you going to base it on?
You just interrupted me, Arwen. Can you wait till I'm finished? You said that it wasn't consensus. What I was pointing out was that every single physics textbook, every single physics lecture pre-relativity, 9.8 meters per second squared was what was the common, that's what was used by all of science to figure out the gravitational force pre-relativity. You're saying
prove
no,
it.
It was. You just interrupted me.
Yeah, shut the fuck up, you asshole. I'm putting you on mute. Fuck you, man. I can't talk with this asshole. Fuck you. Done with it. You're on mute. You can blabber on all you like. I'm gonna just talk straight over it. You're untenable, man. Yeah? You take too long and now you're just fucking wasting everybody's time. Just get out of here. God. This is why I don't like to have you around, because this is all you ever do. Just waste everybody's time.
Just another conversation.
Yeah, I'd love to have a conversation about this, but you can't. You can't have a conversation with this guy. This doesn't.
He's kind of like an
Another
NPC.
conversation.
Is this an NPC that we're dealing with?
Yeah.
Can he only like respond to certain inputs?
He asks questions and then he just won't let you finish your sentence. Yeah, and then when you complain about it, well then, as a revenge action, he starts to then really slowly start to expose something that's a complete waste of time. And then when you try to make it stop, he'll just tell you, you're interrupting me again, you're interrupting me again. Yeah, because you're fucking wasting my time.
Arwen, it sounds like you expected people to only answer you in like one sentence or 2 sentence responses, rather than letting a conversation dynamically flow out of it.
It's not dynamic. He's purposely wasting our time.
You just say no when you don't like the answer and you don't let him elaborate.
Yeah, because he's wasting our time. He's making a claim, he's not backing it by evidence, and then he's just droning on and on, not leading to anything. Yeah, there's no conclusion. He made a false claim, didn't back it up, and then he just waffles on and on and on.
Do you mind unmuting him,
Sounds
Marvin,
familiar,
so that he
but
can
you know.
speak? He's calm.
Do I mind unmuting him? No. No, not after that. Jeremy, you're still there?
Exactly, but like even today, like when I studied engineering, we used Newton because it works. Like it works. You have to then still ratify that, regardless of general relativity. You have to figure that out, and we absolutely still use that in physics today.
Yeah, you can use the formula, but it's not scientific. It's just practical.
What do you
Well,
mean
wait,
by that, Aaron? Like,
Is
that doesn't make sense.
9.8 meters per second, is that actually a formula or is that just a speed? I mean, where the fuck did you get it from?
It's an acceleration rate estimate, and it's not even accurate.
Yeah, where'd you get it from, though?
From an average. It's like the average at ground level with the typical pressure of the atmosphere, of the gases, like how things fall within it.
Yeah, they do it
So
in
it's
like
like a
8th grade
guess.
science experiments. No, they do
It's
it
an
every
estimate.
day in 8th grade.
So it's a guess.
It's an estimate, is what it is. An estimate average,
sounds
and
like a
it's not
guess.
universal, right? When the gas pressure is much lower, the acceleration
It's
rate
not
is
an
higher.
estimate. It's a measurement. It's an average of an. It's an average of a measurement. It's not an estimate.
Yeah. So,
So wait,
then
so-
it
so when you
is
measure
an
someone's
average of
foot,
dude. An average of a measurement. You know what that's called? An estimate. That's an estimate.
No,
Yeah?
an
'Cause
estimate
it's
would
not
be what
absolute.
you have prior to doing the experiment. Once you do the experiment, you have a measurement. And then over the course of a period of time, you have an
Wait,
average
what's
of
the
measurements.
experiment?
Well,
It's
they
not a
drop
scientific
things in, like,
experiment.
you time-
It's
you
just a
time it,
test.
Yeah, in like 8th grade science.
He's got
That's
it.
not, that's not an
literally did it in
experiment.
8th grade science.
Of course it is.
No,
Dropping
you're not
things is not an experiment.
Yeah, that's called a
Elaborate.
test. It's not an
Go ahead,
experiment
elaborate why it's not an experiment.
because you're not
Because it's
varying
not,
and
you're just
manipulating
dropping
your
something.
independent variable.
Oh, it's not because it's not. That's circular.
No,
Yeah,
you
that's
can
right.
vary. You can
You're just
vary the
dropping
mass.
stuff.
You can vary the mass, and it's consistent. So
yeah,
that's-
mass
that's-
is not
that's-
a
Wait.
legitimate independent variable
Why not?
because it's not. It's a derived, mathematically derived thing that does not exist separate.
From
It's not a naturally occurring phenomenon. It's part of density. Density is something that is always there. It occurs in nature.
mass.
Mass doesn't occur in nature without the other side of it, which is volume, which is combined known as density. Yeah, density exists in
you can
nature. Mass does not exist in nature. It's a calculated, derived concept. It's not
So
a
is
naturally
density.
occurring phenomenon.
density is also calculated.
Yeah,
Can't
density
have
is also
density
derived.
without mass,
Yeah, but it's
without
not whether
that.
something is calculated, it's whether it can exist outside of being calculated.
Yep, I can count the number of atoms or molecules in something.
Oh, really? This guy can calculate the amount of atoms.
Nope.
How do you do that?
He can count it.
How-
Brilliant.
how do you
He
count
can count the atoms. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go.
Sure.
Can you tell me how many are in an orange?
Depends on the size of the orange.
Yep.
Well, wait.
Well, wait, what?
Go count.
You're gonna
Go
count it,
count
right?
then.
So you fill up a glass with marbles.
Don't tell us how you do it. Go do it.
Oh, we already did.
Don't know about Avogadro's constant?
Yeah, marbles are not
Don't give us some garbage.
molecules. I mean, this is
You
ridiculous.
fill
Oh
up
my
a glass
gosh.
with marbles, you have a number of marbles. If you make a bigger glass, you have more marbles. So of course it matters.
So
on
you're
how-
not
An
gonna
atom
count
is
that
not a
as
marble.
orange.
It's like a whole field of chemistry about Avogadro's constant and what a mole is. But okay, great.
Yeah,
great.
that's in chemistry. It's ratio based. Yeah, you don't count the molecules. Nobody does. You
Yeah, you
can't.
Yeah, you can.
No,
my
you
God.
can't. You can only frickin'
Absolutely
estimate it. You can
amazing.
calculate it. You can't isolate atom by atom. You can't count them.
That's a no
Ridiculous.
right
Well, we're waiting for you to
We're still
show
going
us.
with
Prove
mass
us wrong.
doesn't
Go
exist in
count
nature.
the atoms in an orange. We'll wait.
Go,
So you-
go about Avogadro's constant and how moles work in chemistry, then you'll know.
Yeah, chemistry. That's
So you
right.
can't do it, is what you're saying.
You want me to do it live on air? Is that what you're asking for?
Dude, we'll wait, man. Come on.
Okay.
What,
So how
what's
do
the
you-
fucking holdup? You know, you
So
say you
how
got
do
a
you-
magic trick and then you don't show us.
Hold it. Okay, so let's go back. The density. How do you?
This is a
how do you
shitty show,
determine-
man. Your show
how do you-
sucks.
How do you determine the density?
Come up
of
with a new
something?
gig.
Hey, Arwen, how do you determine the density of something?
Determine the density. You basically
I agree,
take
see,
an
show- the
amount.
show does
You
suck,
take
man.
an
The
amount
show
and then you.
sucks.
Oh yeah. Oh okay. You wanna go,
Arwen,
mute?
I asked Arwen a question. He was answering. Go ahead, Arwen. Sorry.
Yeah, you take something, a thing, and then you measure its volume, and then you weigh it, and then you cross-reference it, and then you know the density.
Oh, so you have to calculate density. Okay, that makes sense.
Well, if you want it perfectly defined in numbers, yes.
Okay, do it without defining it in numbers. How do you calculate the density?
That makes no sense. That's self-contradicting statement. You can't
sorry.
calculate
How do you
anything
determine-
without numbers.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. How do you determine density without using mass or volume?
You can't.
Okay, cool. Then we agree that mass and you have to have mass and volume in order to have density, and vice versa.
No, you don't have to
Uh-oh.
have. No, it is volume and mass combined. But
So you
only
don't have to
combined,
have
and
it,
it
but
exists
it's
just
here.
like that in nature. Now go and get an object
mass.
that only has mass and no volume. Go ahead, find that in nature.
Go find me a piece.
Oh,
of
you're not gonna
something that
answer it. Oh, wow,
Yes,
surprising.
no,
He
I-
didn't
right,
answer it.
right.
He did
I'll
not
agree,
find an
I'll agree.
object that has a
Arwen.
mass but not a volume. Because guess what? It doesn't exist in nature.
Right. Arwen,
yeah,
I completely agree with
So
you.
you're gonna
Arwen,
drop this stupid inquiry about this one specific
no,
subject that you've
hold
been on for a month,
See, he can't answer.
following me around, bringing this up over and over again? Now that you
No, go
conceded
find-
that you're
go-
not
go-
gonna
go
find
find
an
something.
object with mass but no volume, are you gonna concede
Okay.
now that it's not a naturally occurring phenomenon? Mass is not a naturally occurring phenomenon. Are you gonna concede that
The
now?
same way density is. The same way density is, because you can't find something with density that doesn't have mass or volume. So, good job.
That makes no sense. You will find an
find
object.
something
What the fuck does it matter whether you're gonna find something with a density that cannot be calculated in mass and volume? That's ridiculous. It's not about whether it has those aspects that you can calculate. It's whether you're gonna find it in nature. Yeah, when you're gonna
Okay.
find a
Okay.
thing that has only
being
has
nature.
mass, where you right isolate it
Fine.
as an independent variable. It's exclusively that. Yeah, you don't.
Find something that
You
has a
don't
density that
find
doesn't have
anything
mass
in
or volume.
nature that only has a mass. That's the
Okay, find
point.
something that only has a density. Go ahead and find
Can you,
something that only has a density.
Can
That's
you unmute
ridiculous.
Buck, Arwen, so he can
Everything has a
participate? He has
density.
good point to make.
Everything has mass too. I agree. Anything that has density.
Yeah,
has
but
mass
it
and
does
volume.
not only have mass and not volume. You can't
Correct,
find
it
anything
doesn't
that
have
only
those
has
densities.
mass. You can find everything has density, but nothing has only mass. And that is the fucking point.
So everything that has density has mass and volume. So I agree with you.
Yeah.
But you can't find anything with you can't find something with density that doesn't have mass and volume. It's
Yeah,
the
that's
same
right.
circular argument.
That's right.
Yep.
That's correct. But you can't find anything that only has mass and no volume. So it's not a naturally occurring phenomenon.
Okay, we're
Is this
having-
getting
we're
through?
having an
Am I getting through now? Are you
No,
gonna
you're
drop the
talking in
stupid
circles.
train with this bullshit? that you've been doing for weeks?
Let
You're
Buck
talking in
speak,
circles.
please.
No,
Arwen,
I'm
will
not
you
talking
unmute him,
in
please?
circles. I'm being very clear. Very, very clear as to what makes something a naturally occurring phenomenon in order to it to be viable in a scientific fashion. You have to find it in nature exclusively, not deriving through calculation. Has to then be
Does density
exclusive.
exist
Yeah,
without
mass
mass?
is not exclusive. Yeah, it doesn't
I think I
exist
found it.
separately. Density exists separately. And then when you want to
density
calculate it,
exist without
you have to
mass?
then calculate it through mass and volume. Yeah, we know. But as a thing, yeah, as a naturally occurring phenomenon, density exists. Mass does not. It's a derived concept, and so it is not a naturally occurring phenomenon.
Density is not a phenomenon.
Okay, well,
I just
go
wanna point
straight out
out-
denial then, sure.
Oh my god. I want to point out that we are right now having a discussion where someone is claiming that we cannot use mass in a scientific experiment. Can you imagine?
That's right.
Like, mass in a, I mean, how many scientific experiments use mass? And to say every one of those is invalid is the absurdity of that is beyond belief. To
Ooh.
suggest that it's not
Oh,
science
it's so
because it-
ridiculous. Blocked. Fuck you. Heckler. What a fucking retard. Unbelievable. Yo, Jeremy, you still there? I'd appreciate if you remove the troll that uses my picture. Keeps doing that. Edited picture, by the way. Terrible.
Yo, what's up, Arwen? My bad, I was talking to my wife. What'd you
Oh, there's
say?
a troll in the chat called Sumbear, and he always takes my fucking picture for his profile, and I really don't want that. He keeps doing it. Oh, now he's using my early bird show. Like, could you just go away?
Hold on a second. Who is it? What's their name?
Sumbear is like 4 slots beneath you.
In the VC or text?
He's in the VC. Oh, now he's taking... Oh, what the fuck is that even? Jesus. I don't know. He is a troll. He's never spoken up, and he always keeps jumping in with pictures of me, and I don't want it. Thank you.
Agree that mass cannot be used in a scientific experiment. It's invalid.
Yeah,
Yeah,
What?
mass,
it is.
mass can be used, yes.
No,
Yeah,
it
does
can't.
anyone besides Arwen? Because if it's only
No, it's
Arwen,
not just me.
then
it's
why- like, we should
everybody
just
that
drop
actually
that.
understands it. I
Discussion.
don't know
What's
why.
mass?
someone said the you know
Uh.
elementary school experiment where you drop something and time it is not a valid experiment.
Yeah.
And that's where it led to
It's
because
not.
it wasn't.
Yeah, and you know who told me that? That teacher. The teacher that told us about this supposed gravity. They also
Liar.
explained that it wasn't scientific, but that you had to learn it. It's in the curriculum, but they admitted this is not legitimate science. You'll learn about it in university.
So
If you get there.
If you want to take that simple experiment that kids do,
It's
what's
not
the
an
hypothesis?
experiment, it's a test.
Stop interrupting.
Okay.
What's the hypothesis?
What are you testing? What are you testing?
Oh, so you weren't here, Robert, but we were talking about the simple experiment that kids do where they drop something and they time how long it takes to fall to calculate.
It's not an
the-
experiment.
Hang on, where you calculate the acceleration due to gravity. So I say that it is an experiment.
Yeah, but it
Let's
isn't,
start
though.
by the scientific method. What's the
isn't.
hypothesis?
Yeah, you're not varying and manipulating an independent variable. You're just letting
Well, you
something
haven't let me-
happen,
you
and
haven't
then
let me
you're
even go.
measuring it. That's it. That's not
Yes,
an
yes, you are.
experiment.
You're varying it. You're dropping different masses. Yes.
Yeah, but
you're varying.
measuring things is not science. So the guy at the Foot Locker who measures your stinky foot
What?
is not a scientist.
Oh, we really wow. You didn't know that the scientific. Okay, during the experiment and the data analysis, those are where measurements are made. Come on now, wake up.
If the argument is it's not a valid scientific experiment, why don't we step through it, right? Let's establish a hypothesis, an independent, a dependent variable, observation and result. We'll give the observations that we've all done, anyone who's done the experiment, and then
Yeah,
we'll
we don't have
determine
to,
if
'cause
it's
we
a
already know
valid
it's not.
scientific experiment. Okay, so Robert, if we're doing the experiment, what's the hypothesis? I can come up.
Yes, the hypothesis is things go to the ground just because they love to.
That's retarded.
No. Hold on. This is important. See, we all observe the phenomenon that things go to the ground. Now we want to know why. So
That's
we
not
can
a
form a hypothesis. We can form a hypothesis. Oh, well, hold on. You're going to ask the question why. That comes before the hypothesis. Why do
would you
things
ask
go to the
that?
ground? Because you're observing a natural phenomenon. That's
Yes,
part of the
that's-
scientific method.
Okay, so the natural
you ask the question
phenomena
why.
that we're observing is things fall
Hold
to
on.
the ground. My
So you
hypothesis
observe
is
that is hold on, we're not there yet.
There's too many
Wait.
people talking at once. There's too many people talking.
Robert,
I want everyone to just keep in mind. Hold
So-
on, man. Hold on, dude. Guys, there's too many people talking at once. We've all got to go one at a time, please.
that
I'm just saying the hypothesis is things go to the ground because they love to go to the ground.
That's not a
So
hypothesis.
yes, that is your hypothesis. You're
my hypothesis
hypothesizing.
is
You're hypothesizing that things go to the ground because they love to go to the ground.
That's actually a claim.
No, that's
My
a hypothesis.
Oh my gosh. My hypothesis for this experiment is that I think
thought you were
that
done.
independent of mass, things fall to the Earth at 9.8 meters per second squared. That's the
That's
acceleration.
also a claim. That's a claim.
All right,
It's a
cool.
hypothesis.
Here's the thing, though.
claim and a
Hello?
hypothesis
Yeah, I know you
are-
guys can hear me. I know you can hear me. I know you can. The thing is, when this is all said and done, and this is your science right here, of things falling to the ground, I guess you can never prove things in science. That's what the Globers have been claiming
Correct.
this whole time. So when this is all
You
said
can't
and
prove
done,
it.
you're not gonna. Yeah. Well, so when your science is all said and done, I'd like to call it pseudoscience. You guys call it regular science, though. But
That's
when
correct.
When this thing is done, said and done, in the end, you're not gonna know because you can't prove 100%. So you don't
Right.
know if
It
it's
gives
the
corroborating
99% one way or the 0.1% the other way. Like you don't know. So you're gonna do this and then not know in the end, and you're arguing with us about it. Why? Because you don't know in the end.
To
No,
be fair,
it's
the
meant to
reason,
corroborate.
the reason, one second, Buck. Sorry. The reason that this is
Jeremy, dogmatism is
Hold on,
pseudoscience.
Rob.
the reason
Dog-
that,
We
Isn't-
have enough
it's
people
to the-
not lying. We good on this guy?
yeah, one sec. The reason that this is happening is to show why it's an experiment and not science, like not Seashell King says.
You have failed to do that.
That's what this is a demonstration of. It's not a demonstration of whether or not science can prove things or what proof is or this or that. It's just to show what an experiment is. That's the only thing they're trying to demonstrate.
Well, you're just measuring. This is just a measurement of the effect, right? Things falling.
It's just how you
It's another
format a
troll in chat,
hypothesis,
Jeremy.
what happens after a hypothesis, what you do with data analysis. Just walking through a simple childhood experiment to show why it's a valid experiment. That's all they're doing.
Yeah, I'm saying this is
Thank you. Jeremy, there's
measuring the
another
effect,
troll.
Right? That's all we're.
Yeah, you went
Yeah,
out for a
because-
second. Jeremy.
Experiment is just
Yeah.
measuring.
Yeah,
It's just
because
measuring
Nazi-
the effect, right?
Yeah, because Nazi can't understand what an experiment is.
Right.
Why don't we walk through it and then?
Wait, it's
at the
because
end
I'm too
determine
dumb?
if it's a valid experiment.
Exactly.
Because I pointed out that it's not an experiment.
Well,
No,
that's
because
our
you-
And you
hypothesis.
can't.
To
I
show
mean,
that
our
it
hypothesis
is,
is
walk
you're
through
just
all the
measuring-
elements of it.
You're varying a variable and you're confirming your
That's it.
hypothesis.
IC Spin just said we're just measuring. IC Spin just said we're just measuring the effect.
Right. We're seeing if the hypothesis is confirmed
Yeah,
or
you
not.
don't need a hypothesis. You don't need a hypothesis for a measurement. You just go do a measurement. Like if we walk
Right.
into Home Depot and I'm like,
If you don't have a
how long are
hypothesis,
those
how do you
boards?
know
My
what to
man's
measure?
like, hold on, let me make a hypothesis, bro. How do you know what I'm saying if you're talking while I'm talking? That's the real question.
We agree with what you're saying. We're showing you that what an experiment is. Part of the experiment is measurement, but the hypothesis comes
I know, but you're
first.
making a hypothesis for the measurement. I don't need to go into Home Depot and ask my man, yo, how long you think them boards are? And he's like, hold on, let me make a hypothesis.
Right.
Yeah, that's not an experiment.
Yeah, for an experiment.
Yeah, it's a measurement or a test. That's what it classifies as. Oh, you're roboting, Jeremy.
Give me 2 more.
Jeremy,
You're roboting.
Nobody can hear you. Nobody can hear you. We're doing this because Nazi's Shell King can't understand what an experiment is, so we're showing him that. And
Yeah, I'm too dumb.
It seems that way if you don't
Well,
understand.
that's my hypothesis, yes.
That's my hypothesis too. We'll see at the end of this. Let's test it. Go
Well,
ahead.
actually, it's not a hypothesis. You're simply agreeing with what I'm saying. Keep up.
No.
Okay, here's the hypothesis.
Yeah, dude. All right, I'm back. I'm back right now. Hold on. I know. Okay. Here's the thing. Just like you said, that's not an experiment when I was going to go measure the boards in Home Depot. This isn't an experiment because you're just measuring the effect. You're measuring how fast things drop. It's just a measurement.
Nope, we're varying the variable. We're varying the variable and measuring the
You're
outcome.
varying the variable. What
Yep, you
in
got
the
it.
what is
You
that?
don't understand that? You don't understand that? That's kind of
What
weird
is
that
it?
you don't
Yeah,
understand.
My hypothesis was confirmed.
You know what that is? That process? It's called a calculation.
Nope.
Yeah,
Okay,
it
so
is.
You drop something. Okay, so you drop something and then you measure how fast it falls, right?
Yes,
No,
essentially.
that's not the experiment. The
Oh, my
experiment.
bad. What's the experiment?
My hypothesis / claim, whatever you call, is that any object of any mass, as it falls, experiences an acceleration of 9.8 meters per second squared, whether it's a kilogram or 2 kilograms. That's my hypothesis.
Well, that's definitely not going to be true.
Well, so let's make the observation. So we have that.
They've
do we
already
agree
done
that's
it.
the hypothesis. Varying masses fall at a constant 9.8 meters per second.
Man, did this
squared.
guy go to school or
Yeah,
what?
they've already debunked you though. The thing is, the thing you're saying
can't
is just
even
not
get- I
even
can't
true.
even
because,
get
hold
through
on.
the.
Jeremy, there's another
I know
troll
because
with
the
my
thing
name.
you're saying is already debunked, guys. The thing
Well,
you're
if it's
saying has
debunked,
already
it's
been
still an
debunked.
experiment.
Bro, can I just finish, please, man?
You interrupted me.
The thing you're saying has already been debunked. Go ahead with your debunk thing. Go ahead with your hypothesis.
Okay.
That's already
My
been debunked.
hypothesis is that objects of different mass fall at 9.8 meters per second squared. That's the acceleration.
That's already been debunked. So
Okay, so my experiment should show that that's false then. So what's the independent variable? The independent variable is the mass of the objects I'm measuring the speed with which it falls. That's the independent variable. Do we agree with that? We vary the mass.
the thing you're saying, is not true. The thing you're saying, you stopped for a very long time, so I started going.
Right,
My
sorry.
bad.
The
The thing you're
dependent
saying has
variable.
already been, bro.
Dude, he literally asked a
We
question.
heard you,
He
Jeremy.
asked.
We heard you. Just listen to the rest of it. We heard you. We understand that you think it's debunked.
No,
The
it's not. I
dependent-
think it's debunked. The mainstream has debunked this notion of everything falls at 9.8 meters per second squared.
Okay.
It's not. I didn't do it. I don't think it's.
I know.
that.
We
And that's
understand
the-
what we understand.
That's
what
the
you're
main.
saying.
The
So
mainstream
it's a
claim
perfect
is
experiment. It
the
will
mainstream
confirm
claim
that-
is that this got thing. The mainstream thinks the mainstream is saying the thing this guy's saying is not true. It's not me saying it's not true. It's the mainstream saying it's not
We
true.
understand
So
that. We
that's why
understand.
we do experiments. It will show when I do the experiment, it will confirm that it's not valid. My hypothesis is false. It will falsify it. Great. So we've established the independent. Excuse me. We've established that bearing the mass is the independent variable. The dependent variable is what we observe, the speed with which it falls. Okay. So the procedure that we follow is we drop a mass, let's call it mass 1, which is 1 kilogram, a 1 kilogram lead ball. We drop it from a known height and measure the time that it takes to hit the ground. And from that, obviously, we can calculate the acceleration. We say we do that 5 times with mass 1. We then take mass 2, which is a 2 kilogram sphere, and we drop it another 5 times, time how long it takes to hit the ground, and we simple calculation of the acceleration. Then we do mass 3, and that's 3 kilograms. And
We get
do
it,
the same
dude.
thing. Hang on. We do 5 trials, and we determine the acceleration that each of those masses of each mass experience. So we have all these observations. Then we look at the results. What are the results? If my hypothesis was correct, then the acceleration of each of those masses should be the same. If my hypothesis was false, then we should see a variation of those.
Yeah. Okay.
So the question isn't whether it's true or false. The question is that a valid experiment? And I think I presented each element of an experiment that makes it valid. So
all right, man. But here's the thing. Oh, you're still going.
No, I'm done.
Jeremy, could you please?
He was teaching us.
In the beginning of this, I said, you're just measuring how fast things fall. And you were like, no. It's this other thing. But in the end, that's all you're doing is measuring how fast things fall.
You missed the variables part where he varied it. Maybe you missed that. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah.
I know. You take an object, you measure how fast it falls. You take a different object, you measure how fast that falls. You take every object on Earth and measure how fast it falls. You're just measuring how fast things fall.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a great experiment.
Yep. Good job.
You don't have a cause in it. You don't have a cause. Okay, why do things fall?
No,
that's not the hypothesis. Was things of differing mass fall at the same acceleration.
Yeah, well, mass is not an independent variable. You're varying the density.
What causes them to fall? Nothing about anything like relativity or Newtonian. It was simply objects of differing mass experience the same acceleration as they fall, and whether
right. So there's no varying then.
How come every time I clip someone to get in, somebody else talks? Go ahead.
Sorry. No, but he's literally saying that he's varying his variable, and it is no result because every mass will fall the same rate. So there's no change then. So you're not actually varying. Your presupposed independent variable wasn't done yet, right? No, you're actually when you vary the density, now there is a change. So now when you actually do it with the density, now you have a change. Now you are varying and manipulating something that's actually a naturally occurring phenomenon, and it is yielding a different result, right? When you vary the mass, he already admitted you changed. You just
totally missed the point.
Dude, I'm not fucking done yet, you asshole. Yeah? He literally said you take a mass, then you take something with twice the mass, and there's no change. So that means that it's not actually, you're not varying and manipulating the cause of the effect, which is the supposed acceleration rate. Yeah, so you literally have a null result. You have a null result. It's ridiculous.
The thing you're saying is not even true though, because the same mass will fall at different rates. The same mass will fall at different rates. So,
hey, Buck was very clear.
It's a perfect experiment. Then why are we arguing?
Exactly. The point was
because you're only measuring. We don't need 3 globers. Relax, guys. You're only measuring. You take an object, you measure how fast it falls. You don't need a hypothesis for that.
Well, my hypothesis is that things of differing mass fall at the same rate. You say they don't fall at the same rate. My hypothesis is that they do, and so that's a perfect experiment.
So you're making a what is claim. That's not the cause of an effect that you're varying and manipulating. Then it's not science.
Jeremy,
a measurement is an observation, and an observation is an integral part of a scientific experiment. I don't understand why a measurement makes it invalid somehow.
Because it's only the first step.
If this is an experiment and you measure how fast something falls, and then you measure another how fast something else falls, and you don't know if that's even correct because you can't ever prove it. You never know 100% with science. So what good is it even bickering or quibbling over this when in the end you don't even know?
Well, in your situation, it's perfect because you say that masses don't fall at equal rates. So this would nullify my hypothesis, and you would be gold, right? That's why it's a great experiment.
Because you can't. Because you can't ever prove any. And your version, though, in the mainstream idea of science, you can never prove anything 100%, which means
I can falsify. I can't prove. I can falsify. And based on what you're
but when.
Sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. I clipped you.
So, based on what your well, we're working with my hypothesis, but if what you say is correct, my hypothesis will become invalid, and it falsifies it, right? So that's how an experiment works. Like my idea that different masses fall at the same rate, this experiment could potentially falsify it, and according to what you believe, it would falsify it. So it's a great experiment. And if they did fall at the same rate, it doesn't prove for a fact that all objects of differing mass fall at the same rate, because we've only tried 3 different masses, right? So
Okay,
it doesn't.
so what have you? Hold on, man. Just hold on.
Corroborates it.
Okay, what have you falsified? Tell me exactly what you falsified.
Let's assume that we did the observation.
Just tell me what you just tell me what you falsified, please, because I have a follow-up. Don't go on a whole long thing. Just what did you falsify with this?
I have to, in order to say what I falsified, I have to say what I observed. So
Just say you hypothetically falsified your.
So hypothetically, the masses fall at different rates. I have then falsified the hypothesis that things of differing mass fall at the same rate. It has been falsified.
So you've proven that things with the same masses can fall at different rates. Then
I've proven it. I've falsified.
Stutter. Cognitive dissonance.
You falsified that things of a different mass fall at the same rate, which means you've proven that things with different mass fall at different rates.
Yes, I would say.
Yes.
Well, no,
you can't falsify. You realize you can't falsify.
That's not accurate.
You realize you can't falsify something without proving the antithesis. Like, let's say you guys were like, "Yo, we falsified."
No.
Stationary Earth.
I'll give you an example.
Hold on, man.
No,
dude, bro.
You can.
Dude, come on, man.
I'm falsifying your claim.
Bro, I'm right in the middle of my thing, dude.
I know what you're gonna say, but you can't.
Mike,
do you?
Go ahead. No, let me get
when you falsify things, you have things of different mass. You have things of different mass falling at the else, right?
Yep.
Okay, so we now know, since that doesn't happen, that things of different mass do fall at different rates 100%, because you can't falsify that and then not have it the other way. If you falsify one thing, the antithesis right in the middle of me talking, dude.
Yeah, because you say the same thing over and over. We know what you mean. You're right, but you can't, because there could be other variables. There could be other variables that you can manipulate to make them fall at the same rate. So no, you can't say the opposite is true.
You've already proven 100% that they don't fall at the same rate.
Wow.
But if you manipulate the other variables that you're not taking into consideration, you can get them to fall at the same rate. So that's obviously
air resistance.
Yep.
Okay, but you've already proven, and I know, but with the same variables in the same experiment, whatever experiment he did, where you falsified that the objects of different mass don't fall at the same rate. You've proven that objects of different mass don't fall at the same rate.
In that controlled experiment, but if you manipulate other variables, you can get them to fall at the same rate.
So you have proven something here 100%. Great. I'm glad we're on the same page. Science can 100% prove things.
Well, no, it's actually
you agree that it's a valid experiment, though.
Yeah.
You have evidence that.
Do we agree that you've 100% proven something? Just hold on a second, guys. I'm almost done. I'm gonna back out after this. You agree that we've just 100% proven something?
No, you can't. You can't prove
Hold
things
on.
in
I
science.
asked the guy who
Okay.
asked me if I agree that it's an experiment.
I agree
I'll answer
that.
you right after you answer this.
So if we measured that the masses fall at varying rates, under the conditions that the experiment was done, I agree that we have proven that they don't fall at the same rate. We've under those conditions.
Okay, great. I'll give you that this is an experiment, and you've just given me that science 100% proves things. Cool.
Okay, that's.
I'll take it.
All right, so
You're going to be arguing with your Glober friends now about whether science can prove things or not, because Wesley's trying to adamantly fight this.
well, don't forget, I said under the same conditions, right?
Yeah, same conditions. We've 100% proven this thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
In your
you can-
experiment,
under
we
those
just
conditions,
100%. We
proven-
did science, and we 100% proved something. That's dope.
Well, you can falsify it. You can 100% falsify the hypothesis, which we just did. So yes, I agree with you.
Wes, do you realize when you falsify something, you prove the antithesis?
You've disproven all of the. You've disproven a subset of all of the possibilities.
Do you guys realize that when you falsify something, you want 100% prove the antithesis of that thing that you falsified?
Right, and you know how you said you proved things in science? The answer goes back to you've disproven in science, right?
Yep.
No, we just disproved it by falsifying the thing that he did in his experiment, which means we've proven the antithesis of it.
But see, the way you're talking is you'd be affirming the consequent. The way you're.
It's not
talking,
affirming the
because-
consequent. You can't.
It is.
You can't falsify something and not prove the antithesis.
But you're proving what you're saying is you're disproving a subset of all of the other possibilities.
No,
Like,
you're
there are
disproving a thing. To IC spin, you're disproving a thing, right? There's this
Right.
thing that you've
Yep.
now
I agree with
100%.
you. Under the
false.
exact
This thing that you've 100. There's this thing that you've 100% disproven. It is not true. That means the antithesis of that is 100% true. Which
Sure,
is what
I
he just
agree.
did in his experiment. He 100% proved something in his experiment he just did. That's science. You have science 100% proving something.
I agree that you can't weigh 150 pounds and 100 pounds at the same exact time. So if that's proving something, then sure, we agree.
But that's why it comes back to the adage of in science we either affirm or we disprove the hypothesis, or not disprove, excuse me, either affirm or nullify the hypothesis. I'm using the word that I didn't want to.
Yeah, that's why.
it's never proving.
That's why
It's
your
never
hypothesis.
proving.
That's why your hypothesis and your null hypothesis are the antithesis of each other. That way, one of them has to be true in the end. You guys are like, I don't know how you don't get this. When you fall, like, say I have a, say you guys were like, yo, we falsified moving Earth, or we falsified stationary Earth, right? You guys think that, right? We falsified 100% stationary Earth.
We falsified it, yes.
Yes, that means you have 100% proven, and that would be science, right? The falsification of the stationary Earth. That means we've 100% proven that the Earth is moving. Congratulations, you 100% proved something again using science.
I would say that I do disagree with the 100% part that you added, but it sounds like like you said, it might be a disagreement among us. But I think you either confirm the hypothesis or you confirm the null.
Okay, but spin. If you 100% falsify.
I hear what you're saying, and
If
I agree
you
with
falsify-
I agree with what you're saying. I agree with what you're saying, Jeremy.
So
It sounded
Jeremy,
like
I
you were
think I agree with
disagreeing.
you.
No, I agree with what you're saying about what was said in this conversation, but I disagree with the disproving 100%. That's what I'm saying. In other words,
That's
I
falsification is a disproving.
right. That's what I disagree.
When there's a
with. I disagree
binary
with-
So you're
choice.
saying we can't. Hold on. Let me just work this out with IC spin real quick. You're saying we can't disprove anything.
No, we can disprove things by confirming the null.
Okay, when you disprove something, if you disprove stationary Earth, that means Earth must be moving.
That's why I
Right?
use
100
falsify. I don't say I say that falsify and disprove are not equivalent terms. That's all I'm saying.
You're saying
What?
you're saying when you falsify something, there's a chance that it's not falsified and it could still be true.
Yeah, it's like providing evidence for the null.
So you can't
Yes.
falsify
What?
anything either then.
Are you
Yeah, you
serious?
can't falsify anything either then. That's crazy, bro. You guys are off the hook, dude, with this.
Right. So it goes back to what you said, that science doesn't prove things. So now you understand, right?
No, because now you're saying you
Got
can't
him.
prove. Now you're saying no, because now you're saying you can't falsify things either.
No, you can falsify things to a great degree of certainty.
To a great degree of certainty, but that you can't you don't know if it's false or not because it could still be true.
We have a very
'cause you
high
can-
chance of it being true.
That's
or
what I'm
false,
saying. You
excuse
guys
me.
do this science and you never know either way. Even if you falsify something, you don't know if it's actually false. If you find something to be true, you don't know if it's actually true. You do the science where you don't know. Like,
No.
why are we even
versus
talking to you
knowing is-
guys?
Yeah, now
prove versus
we can
knowing is two
state that
different
Baller's claim that science doesn't prove things and it doesn't disprove anything either. Congratulations.
I think the issue is here, and I agree with you, Jeremy, to a certain degree. I think the issue here is that we're looking at experiments where there's a binary option. It's either yes or no. In
Yeah,
the
the
real
bi-
world, most of the time, there's more than one possibility, more than two possibilities. So I get what you're saying, Jeremy. And it does. I agree with you. It makes sense. But generally, when you're doing a true science experiment, like and that a university student or actual scientist does it, it's not such a binary yes no possibility. But
Well, if you
What?
100, hold on, real quick. The thing I was talking about, there's a lab in Europe where they drop the same object nonstop, and it
Is
falls
there?
at varying rates depending on depending on when you drop it. Like all this lab does is it's not the Bremen drop tower, it's a different drop tower, but all they do is drop the same thing over and over and over again, and it'll change over time how fast it drops. However, let me just go on the last thing though. If you disprove, see, that's why he had to say you don't 100% disprove things, because he knows that if you 100% disprove something or falsify it, he didn't like those were the same words, but if you 100% disprove something, the antithesis of that thing has to be true. You know what I'm saying? Like, if take Karl Popper's Black Swan. If you say all swans are white, and then I come at you with a black swan, did I falsify that all swans are white? You'd say yes.
See, but I think that's where the
therefore,
consequence
hold on,
comes.
real
Excuse
quick,
me.
man, real quick.
dichotomy.
I'm almost done.
I know it's a dichotomy you're presenting when it's not always a dichotomy. So on the dichotomies that are actually true dichotomies, then you're 100% correct.
yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
Okay, but anytime you falsify something, there's now a dichotomy between that thing being true or that thing being false. So if that thing's false, then the opposite of it has to be true, like stationary Earth. Or is the Earth stationary or is it moving? Well, if you falsify stationary Earth and you're saying 100% it's not stationary, then it in fact is 100% must be moving.
Jeremy, can I pose a question? I think I understand where you're going. Let's say I had an experiment. My hypothesis is that not all swans are white. If I observed a black swan, does that mean I've proven that my hypothesis? That's a
You've
question for
proven,
everyone.
yeah, you've proven that all swans aren't white, right?
Right. That's where I'm thinking. That's what, like that. So this is where I kind of see where you're going, right? Like when you have this dichotomy, where it's either one or the other. I mean, I guess you could say that science does prove things.
So, but
If
it's not a
true
scientific
dichotomy like that.
experiment.
Well, it's always a dichotomy. The thing you posed with different weights and the same rate of acceleration, it's a dichotomy. They either are falling at the same rate of acceleration or they aren't. Right? That's
under
the
those
dichotomy. There's
under
no,
those
there's no
specific
third option.
conditions, right? Like if we move to a different spot on Earth, it might be different, right? If we move
Same
if we
spot,
did
bro.
it-
Same spot. Dude,
Right,
they do it
so
in the
that's-
same spot.
Right. So the antithesis has to be in the exact same conditions. And with that, I will agree. I will agree that under the exact same conditions, the falsification is in a sense proof. Right? So
That's why I use like confirming the hypothesis or confirming the null, which is what I think is actually the approach that science takes in the purest sense of the word.
Because there's never a true dichotomy. Even my swan example, you could say, well, what if I'm colorblind? What if the person observing,
dude,
you know what I'm getting?
Every hypothesis is a dichotomy. If it's set up correctly, every hypothesis is a dichotomy because you set up an alternative hypothesis, which is, say, I think heat will cause water to boil. Can anyone guess what the null hypothesis is going to be in that experiment?
Yeah, that heat won't cause water to boil.
Yeah, correct. That would be your null hypothesis, right? Your hypothesis is heat will cause water to boil. And then there's a dichotomy to that. It's that heat won't cause water to boil. Now you have a dichotomy and you're going to falsify one and therefore proving the other one.
But how do you know that it requires heat plus a specific location on Earth to cause it to boil?
Well, I would also add real quick to that. Also add how do you know if you got it hot enough? What if there's a temperature limit you can't get to at this point?
Well, that's not part of it. You just increase it, and if it won't cause it to boil, then it doesn't work.
What if
the material you're using to boil the water, like say a glass beaker, what if the combination of heat and glass causes it to boil? So if you did it in a metal pot, say, heat wouldn't cause it to boil.
Or we don't have the technology to get it hot enough.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's why they say.
Well, you keep increasing the heat.
What if you can't, Arwen? What if you can't?
Well, then you don't have a proper setup.
Okay. So there's some things we can't get hot enough or fast enough or we don't have the technology to do. So
yeah, but we do though. So it's like, what if we didn't have the wheel? Yeah, but we do though. You know?
Yeah, but we lost the technology and it's very difficult to build it.
Okay, that's hilarious.
No,
but
at one point we didn't. So was it disproven, 100 years ago when we couldn't?
Yeah, well, that preceded the scientific method. So yeah.
100 years ago did? That's interesting.
The wheel was there a lot longer than
what
scientific
about making
method.
Plasma?
What?
Plasma's not possible because we couldn't heat it up hot enough. So does that mean plasma didn't exist before?
Maybe it may be naturally occurring, but it couldn't be made in order to be experimented with, to be tested.
So our experiments would show false, but we just didn't have the technology to get to the point that we needed.
No, it's not like that, because it simply wasn't discovered. There was no concept of plasma. People didn't know it existed.
There was concept of plasma before we made it. Yes.
You didn't know it existed. Doesn't mean it wasn't there. It just wasn't conceived of yet.
Yes, we did know it existed.
Oh, really? Citation.
Plasma? Sure.
Yeah.
We knew the sun was plasma before we could make plasma.
Oh, really? Citation.
Okay. Oh, you're asking for a citation.
Yeah, I am, because you're making a claim about supposed established science. So, yeah.
Yeah, if I get it, will you believe it or no?
Yeah, sure I will.
Okay.
But you're not gonna.
Would it be fair to say that you are the citation? Or...
I am the citation.
Yeah, no, but you're referencing something that's supposedly historical. Yeah, historically recorded. Yeah, it's not a concept you're putting on the table that didn't exist before you came up with it, yeah? That's when I say I am the citation, because I'm the one that came up with it. There is no reference out there. It's very funny. I know it's all hilarious when I do that, but it's actually relevant when I do that. It's not relevant here, because he's citing something that supposedly happened historically, and I'd like to see a citation of it. I'd like to see some evidence.
Arwen, while he's getting that citation, could you get the citation of I think
yeah, well, I don't give a fuck.
So you're making that claim without citation?
Yeah.
And how about density is a natural phenomenon? I'd like to see a citation for that.
Wow. Well, you could literally Google that. It will be confirmed.
Yeah, it says, it literally phenomenon is a process.
Yeah, phenomenon is not going to deny that.
Phenomenon is a process by the definition of it. So go ahead and show me how density is a process, which is required for a phenomenon.
Let's see which one of you can get the citation first.
That's good.
Okay, ready, go.
What are you grinning about?
Grinning? How do you know I'm grinning?
I can hear it.
You can hear a grin?
Yeah, you chuckle.
We could make an experiment about
that. Phenomenon. You can hear them.
You can hear grins. That's pretty good.
Okay, well, sorry for the language barrier.
Oh,
that's why I just asked.
Oh, and I have to admit, your English is phenomenal. It's really good. For it not being your native language, it's impressive.
I had a lot of training.
Like you barely have an accent.
We got someone triggered in the chat there, Jamie.
He's in voice, or he was in voice chat before, making some Alec type comments.
But here's the headline. Let's keep it.
Here, I'll put the citation for Arwen for his density claim. 2.
I'll definitely look at it.
I'm going to do it different. The other thing, like there was the atomic theory that we postulated before we could see atoms too. So we make
I know.
Theoretical. We make
not going to ask for a citation with that because that was clearly a theoretical model that was then proceeded to be proven supposedly,
right, but at the time
circumstantial. But not plasma though, because plasma was a discovery. Yeah, not a theory that was then proven. No, it was a discovery by happenstance.
We couldn't make it. But we couldn't make it.
Yeah, that's nice. But it wasn't conceived of before the discovery. Yeah, that's the difference. It wasn't a theorized model that was then proven. And that was the claim here. Somebody here said that. And so I wanted a citation for that. I wanted some evidence. Like, really?
I agree with you.
Show me.
I agree with you. So
yeah, thank you.
I agree with
thank you for rectifying my demand of a citation because that was just historically incorrect what he said.
Where's yours now? Because I posted one that defeats what you had said multiple times, actually.
The fuck are you blabbering about? Not a natural phenomenon. Okay.
So you won't say that.
It occurs in nature, though.
You won't. Say
yeah, I mispronounced it. It's not the naturally occurring phenomenon. It's not something happening. You're right. But it is, I was meaning independent variable, a viable independent variable. An independent variable has to be occurring in nature. I basically slipped up. I slipped up with how I phrased it. So yeah, I guess that gives you the giant win, right? I mean, semantics is, you can always win on semantics. Just keep draining everybody until they slip up, and then you can feel like you win. Congratulations, I slipped up.
No, it's good. We all have to admit when we mess up. I messed up on plasma. Atomic theory would be a better one, and just density and mass and volume can't exist with each other.
Everything is actually created in a lab, must be in the 1800 somethings. in for example, Geisler tubes. They didn't know that time that it was plasma, but actually plasma was
Oh, look, somebody actually in my chat
slow
actually found
discharging.
it. That's amazing. They
slow
say that there was
discharging of
something.
gases.
There was something that was apparently called. Sorry. Radiant matter. So there was actually an idea of radiant matter before plasma was actually discovered. So it's somebody arguing that plasma was theorized, it just wasn't called plasma.
Yep, it was a bad example. I agree 100%. But atomic theory is a better one. We theorized atoms before we could actually see them.
Helium, for example, is also a good example. Helium was postulated and measured before we could find it on Earth. Because the band gap of helium was discovered in sun spectroscopy. That's why it's called helium, because it is basically the helios, the sun, and it was the sun gas that was discovered there. And many years later, it could be found here on Earth and kind of reproven or shown again on Earth.
Plus, I'm really proud of you, man. You took that L in stride. I've never seen that. That was good of you.
I'm waiting for the next video where I get destroyed again. I like that little series. Thanks for that. Jack, go on.
Yeah, for sure. Demok, did you have anything to say on the matter? I didn't want to leave you out.
Right. So in a scientific experiment, the independent variable that you're going to vary and manipulate in order to prove the cause of the effect, the effect has to be a naturally occurring phenomenon. The independent variable has to be independent and occurring in nature. You have to find it in nature in order to use it within the scientific setup, right? And density it occurs in nature. You can find anything and everything has that density. Now, if you want to define or quantify it with numbers, you're going to have to calculate it into mass and volume. That's how it is quantified. But as a thing, it does occur in nature. Now, you can't find anything in nature that is just mass, though. Because mass is a derived, calculated concept that does not naturally occur. You can only calculate it. And that's why it cannot be an independent variable within a scientific hypothesis.
Yep,
so density can be an independent variable, but mass can't be. Is that your claim, Marwan?
Correct.
I can use it right now.
That was my entire point, this entire discussion.
So density is not wait a second. Density is not an inherent property of a specific material.
No, it's
density
all materials.
An influenced density is a reaction of the material due to external influences.
It is a property that is universally existent. Yes, it is. Everything has a density. All matter has density.
It's not an inherent property of the material itself. So, for example, if you introduce pressure to a material, you increase the density without changing the material. So the material, for example, air or so, has specific densities under specific amount of pressure or temperatures.
Yeah. So you're changing the density. Gases, you can pressurize, depressurize, and then the density changes. Because gases have density and it can change.
No, the density is a reaction. It's not.
It isn't. It's a inherent property. Material have density.
The pressure, the density increases. It's not like you increase the density, therefore pressure increased. It's a different way. Pressure is the cause. Density is the effect. If you pull a vacuum, the density of the same material will reduce, but you are pulling the vacuum. So this is the cause, the reducing of pressure, so the density reduces.
Yeah, Arwen,
so you're varying and manipulating the density of the medium.
How do you manipulate density by itself? Go ahead.
Temperature.
Temperature. You add. You mix materials. You can mix materials that can increase density, like putting salt or sugar in water.
So
It will
again,
increase
the
its
independent
density by
variable-
combining the
independent-
materials, and now their combined density lead to a different density.
The density is still in effect. So
Yeah,
if
hold
you
on a
have
second,
one
Arwen.
specific, if you have one volume and you have a gas inside there, and you increase, for example, the temperature, the pressure increases, but not the density increase or decrease. If the volume stays the same, the density stays the same. If you increase the volume, for example, by pulling on a piston, the density reduces. The density is always a reaction to external parameters.
So let me just ask this real quickly. The independent variable is density according to Arwen. Arwen, how do you change density without changing anything else?
By exchanging the material.
Okay, so that's changing
No,
the
then-
mass.
then
That's
density
hold on a second,
is-
Snooze. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. So that's changing the mass. You're changing the
No,
mass.
you're
So
not
do
changing
it
the
with-
mass.
You're adding more mass.
No, because mass is relative to the circumstances it's taking
So
place.
change the density without changing anything else. How do you do it?
By exchanging the material.
That's mass.
Okay, Arvin,
No,
the
it's
two
not
definitions
mass,
of
it's
the
material.
independent
It's a
variable-
material. Mass is a
If-
derived calculated property.
Arvin, the definition of an independent variable is that you can directly influence it. A dependent variable is a variable that changes when you change another property. So density is always a dependent variable because you cannot influence density directly without first changing any other parameters.
No, because those parameters are not part of it.
So if you,
You
for example,
isolate it.
change
You isolate the
volume as
variable within the
independent
experiment, and in
variable,
this case,
the
it will be
dependent-
density. You're talking
the
right through me.
dependent variable
Wow.
density changes with the changed volume. It's a secondary effect.
Ridiculous. Material has inherent density. You can change that
No.
density by changing the pressure, changing the temperature, or mixing in materials. Well, guess what? The stuff, the material you got there now has a different density, right? If you have an experiment, whether density causes something, like vertical displacement, well, you have to then scoop it out, put something else in there, or otherwise change the density, because you're focusing on the property of density. And you have to change something in order to establish that. It doesn't matter that it's caused by something else. You're focusing in on the property of density. And density is inherent because all materials have density. Could you stop fucking talking right through me, you fucking asshole? Ha 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 ha. Yeah, you're fucking muted, you fucking asshole.
Hold on, I got you. Water. What makes water hard when you hit it? The way you go into it. So now that water turned into concrete depending on the belly flop you did or the dive. Get real with your
No,
goofy
that's
words.
called surface
Get real.
tension. Yeah, you smash into water because it has surface tension. When you go at it very fast, that surface tension is quite dramatic. Makes an impact.
Yeah, you did. You can go in smooth and not get crushed or break your face or skin, or you can belly flop. So you can go in with your fingertips or your toe tips and release the pressure and all that force. Now, the
You
way
break
you
through
hit
it.
with the amount of energy you put into it, you're going to get back. So any action or reaction that's imparted to another thing is going to put that same action or attribute off. Stop saying the word density. That's ignorant. You got resistance or none.
Okay.
No, I ain't
I
gotta
don't see
talk
how
to
this
nobody. You all
relates
got
to
here.
actually establishing the cause of vertical displacement, though. It's something else. I mean, yeah, you can have some other properties,
such
and you
thing
can
as
have
density by
other things
itself.
that you're testing in an experiment, sure. But if you're going to test the cause of vertical displacement and you use density, well, you're going to have very distinct results. Yeah, to scientific levels where you can prove that vertical displacement is indeed caused by density differential. And by changing the density of the medium or the object within a setup, within the experiment, you can drive it. You can make it go up, make it go down. And that's how you prove that scientifically that vertical displacement that we perceive in nature is caused by density. Yeah, change something else than density, like that you can ensure that the density relation, the differential, is not altered, well, you'll notice there is no change in vertical displacement.
Hey,
If you do anything to the setup, I'm not done yet, if you do anything to the setup that does not alter the density in the process, you're not going to make it change the vertical displacement. Yeah, because it's directly caused exclusively by density.
I forgot what the point was of this whole thing. What was it, Arwen?
There wasn't a point because there's no density by itself. There's no cold by itself without hot. There's no high without low. What you're saying is nonsensical. Both of you are saying goopy shit.
Okay.
It's just a description.
Good hand wave
It's a
dismissal.
description of
Totally
surface tension,
pointless.
right? Or material like thickness or the amount in a volume. So like what does that even mean when you erupt that and form it to something else?
Snoozer, are you still in this discussion? Because I missed part of it. I started to doze off, which is ironic.
Arwen, I had a question for you. If you had a 1 kilogram steel cube and you compress it to change its density, does its mass change?
No.
Okay, that's all. We agree then. When you vary the density, the mass remains the same. So it sounds to me that the intrinsic property of something is its mass.
No, you're
not its
compressing it, right? If
Well,
you're
so
compressing
the
it, well,
same
you're
object-
changing the properties, and it's gonna have a different density. Then that doesn't mean that the
why does
total
mass stay the
amount
same?
is not right. Yeah, it won't change because it's still the total amount. It's separate though.
So the mass remains the same even though you change the density.
Yeah.
So and you're claiming that density is the intrinsic property, not mass.
Yeah, because it actually exists in nature. Mass alone doesn't. Yeah, there's always going to be volume because there's no thing in nature that has only a mass and no volume. That was the entire argument that you're straw manning away from.
No, I just want to be clear that despite the fact that the mass always remains the same as you vary density, you're saying that the intrinsic property of the object is the density, not the mass.
No, I'm saying that the density occurs in nature. Mass does not separately occur in nature.
Well, occur in nature is a really nebulous term.
No, it isn't. It's you find it out there. You can't find something that has mass that doesn't have volume. You can't find anything that doesn't have volume. There's no thing that has no volume.
I'm gonna repeat. I don't want to talk about nature. I want to talk about intrinsic property.
Okay, well, that has nothing to do, though, with whether something is viable in an experiment. So you can talk about that, but it doesn't pertain to science.
Well, the thing is, you cannot find volume that has no mass, and you cannot find mass measurable, at least, that has no measurable volume.
There
But
you
both
go.
Can be changed. So
Yeah.
we can just change the volume itself.
Yeah, you can change things, sure, but you won't be able to find mass in nature without volume, so it's not a naturally existing thing.
Mass and volume are direct properties. Mass and volume are direct properties, but you can change the volume directly without changing anything else, and you will have a reduced density because the density is defined as mass per volume.
Yeah, that's
So
how you
density
calculate
is a
it.
derived, Density is a derived property, while mass is a property of a material itself, and volume is a material of the kind of base of the room where that matter happens.
Yeah, but mass is circumstantial, though, because if you're gonna weigh something in water, it's not gonna give you the same weight. And weight is intricately tied. I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet. Weight is intricately tied into mass. That's officially recognized. Well, weight is relative due to what you're weighing it on, right? Weight is pressure that's supposedly caused by the mass, and yeah, the quantity, it stays the same, but you put it in something else, you change the medium, you change the density of the medium. Now suddenly that pressure is going to be different. So it's going to have a different readout. The same amount is going to have a different readout because the medium is different. Yeah, that's why there's a distinction between water weight, vacuum weight and air weight, which we know generally as weight. Yeah, because it's relative.
Weight is,
like it's not inherent. Yeah, you can.
Something in water weighs still the same. The buoyancy of
No,
the
it
water
doesn't.
to the...
You put it on a scale and it registers a different weight.
No.
Yes, yes, it does. That's why it's called water weight. It's an official term. Water weight is an official term that you just tried to deny. Yeah, shut the fuck up, mute.
I'm out. This show is lame.
Yeah, it is. That's right. Yeah, mass, not an inherent property. It's relative to the medium situation setup. Yeah, they have a volume or a volume that doesn't have a mass, because those two things are conceptually and mathematically derived. They exist only as part of each other when you try to define, well, the density. Yeah, but density, everything has a density. Everything that is palpable, that is material, has a density. But there's no material that has only volume or only mass. That's why it's a derived concept and it's not viable as an independent variable within a scientific setup. I'm done. Right. So I'm gonna drop it because I've been going for over 3 hours and it's dark out here. I've got to get some lunch before it turns into dinner. I appreciate the conversation, even with a bunch of baltards. I don't care. It's good to go through it again and just know what I'm talking about. So, yeah, Jeremy, I don't know if you're still there. Dude, I'm gonna mute you again. Shut up. Shut the fuck up. I'm rounding out, asshole. Yeah. So, thanks, Jeremy, for having me, and I'm gonna just round out my show, and then I'll probably pop back in after that. But, yeah, my show is done for now. So, thanks, everybody on the EA panel for partaking in that discussion, and excuse the swearing.
What is the citation?
Shut the fuck up, asshole. See you later. Right. So, yeah, that was a bit tedious, perhaps. Sorry about the swearing. It's just my tolerance just has limits. Can't believe like it lasted that long. Right, so yeah, I'm gonna round out the show. Hope you guys appreciate it. Sorry about the swearing. Just couldn't tolerate it. I could have just dropped, but I mean, I just wanted to round out and reiterate the point, what it was all about, why I spent all this time, and that got through, so it's good. Right, so thanks everyone for coming. Hope you liked this show. It was pretty good. I mean, it's a long show, 3 hours, 50 minutes, something like that. If you like the show, then please don't forget to Rogan's it up. And if you haven't already, follow me here on Rumble and be here when I'm going live, which is normally 2 p.m. Amsterdam time every day. And please also do support me through the PayPal, Patreon, Gifts and Go. Links are in the description box below. And send me super chat over to Rumble live chat when the show is live, or subscribe to my channel. Support me that way. Any support would be greatly appreciated. I could really use it. So yeah, please help out your local Arwin. That would be great. I'm gonna really need it, especially next month. Like really desperately need it. I'll be back tomorrow with Flat Earth Early Bird number 2493 on a Sunday. Hope to see you all again then. Everybody have a great weekend and a great Saturday. And until the next video, keep it flat.